racist if you're white. We need some patriots to take a stand. The Plaid Army, Plaid Army, Plaid Army, Plaid Army.
Warning, the following program contains jokes that may get you contacted by the RCMP. Do not attempt any of these stunts at home. If dark humor mixed with current events hurts your feelings, then go fuck yourself. Viewers' detention is advised.
All right. What did you do? You dirty dog.
We need to be clear-eyed about the seriousness of these incidents. Indeed, several of the individuals at Coots have strong ties to a far-right extreme organization with leaders who are in Ottawa. We're talking about a group that is organized, agile, knowledgeable, and driven by an extremist ideology where might makes right.
Welcome back, everybody, to another Plaid Army stream. It is Sunday, March 9th. We are already in the third month of the year. And we got a special guest with us today, the one and only Batman.
Howdy, howdy. Good to be here.
Let's see, do I have it? At one point, I had a Batman. I must have erased it. It was... Oh.
Nice.
Yeah, that's been on there for a while. I'd never used it. I have to keep that on standby.
Indeed.
How are you, sir? How
Not
has
too
life
bad,
been
yourself?
treating you? I'm doing
Good,
well.
man.
I got a
Just,
lot of work done.
Awesome. We're kind of in that, like, right in the middle, like, winter's ending here now, and spring is just about here. We just put a bunch of seeds in, like, to get our seedlings going, so they're all in the tent now, and
that's not even a thought in my mind right now.
You're still under piles and piles of snow, I suppose, are you?
I still have 8-foot snowbanks.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah, we've got grass now. The cow is officially eating grass.
Yeah, it's going to be one hell of a mess here. Like, the water's only got one place to go, and I'm going to have to, like, make a bit of a drain for it at the end of the driveway, because the 8-foot snowbanks, it's all going to stay in the driveway, and if it freezes,
Yeah,
I'm screwed. So
yeah,
it's actually going to be 8 this week. Apparently on Friday, Thursday, it's going to get up to 8, and that's going to be chaos. That's too fast.
Yeah, that's no fun. We've had issues with flooding in the past. We were lucky this year. Like, this year, winter was just kind of spread out. Like, normally we get like a big dumping of snow, and that's when obviously you get the flooding and stuff. But this year it's just been like little bits kind of here and there since, beginning of February probably. And so it's been like our basement is as dry as all get out. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's right now is like the time I should have a bunch of containers ready to harness a bunch of water. Because with all the snow and everything like that that's coming, I could fill up a couple of totes, a couple of 1,000-liter totes easily. And yeah, drainage is going to be one thing, but then we lose our water table by the end of the season. It dries up.
Yeah. Okay.
So you really do have to pay
capture all that you can.
Yeah. Yeah, but like I said, we got a lot of work done this weekend.
Good.
A buddy of mine.
You had a crew up there doing stuff, or?
Yeah, a buddy of mine come up and was helping me out with all the wood, and what a difference. Even if one guy's just swinging the axe and the other guy is setting them up, you double your productivity.
Yeah, it makes all the difference. We've officially switched to oil yesterday. So I do still have a little bit of wood down in the basement, but I'm kind of like, I'm at that point where I'm tired of keeping the fire going. So I just, like, it was kind of once the fire went out, okay, it's warm enough during the day that I don't need to worry about it. And if the oil happens to kick in at night, I don't care. It's okay for,
right. It's just there to take the edge off, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, or it's nice just to have it come on in the morning, Yeah.
Because
at night,
toes aren't cold.
Yeah. At night, just let everything move temperature right down. But in the morning, you want to heat it back up fairly
Exactly.
quickly, or you don't even want to go outside. Like,
Yeah. Love it. It's good.
so we've been talking, obviously, the Uncle Ted's disciples lately, and I wanted to ask, what is the type of land that you're on? I don't think they have unorganized or unincorporated out where you are, do they?
We don't. No, not as far as I'm aware. Anyway, I haven't. I know that there's people out here who have expressed interest in what you are doing, but as far as I know, they haven't been able to find any kind of unincorporated land or anything like that. The land that I have is just, I don't know. It's land. I pay property taxes like I know, just a normal whatever. We've got 5 acres here in the country.
Yeah, there's so much to it, man. I think it's going to be really important in the next couple of years. Now, whether
Yeah.
that be acquisitions made by Donald Trump or it's our own government trying to overreach, because here, what they're doing is like they're trying to scoop up all the unorganized land and make it organized under.
Yeah.
Thunder Bay did that, and they were trying to do it here because road boards are going defunct. Nobody wants to live in the woods anymore. Like,
Yeah.
it's a strange thing. But at the same time, I'm getting a lot more inquiries about this. And what I have to say to people is like, you have to put in the work if you expect to come up here when things get bad.
Yeah.
Like, you don't show up and say, "Oh, what'd you do? What'd you make? How are things going?" You know what I mean? Like,
I think far too many people want that. Like if there was like a turnkey, now I'm off the grid and out of the system, I think you would have thousands of people who were ready to go. And so
absolutely.
maybe that's what we need. Maybe we need to get a bunch of builders together and just start building all these things and just start selling houses to people who want to be off grid but aren't willing to put in the work. I don't know. Maybe that's what like bunkies and stuff are. Maybe I'm not
The
really
only
sure.
way to keep the cost down is to do the work yourself. That's the only way you're going to get a direct value for your work.
Yeah.
You know, like Curtis said it the best. You know, there's something that feels so good about being the direct beneficiary of the work you did.
It's awesome. Like, I was never like the hands-on guy. My dad wasn't a hands-on kind of guy. He was a cop. He was RCMP, so he wasn't a builder or anything like that. And so I didn't really get to learn stuff like that. And then when did we buy this place? We bought this place in 2017, I think it was. And so I kind of like I would have been, I don't know, 30 something, early 30s anyway. And it was basically like, I can't afford to hire somebody to come and fix this thing that needs fixing. So I got to figure it out. And it is, like you said, it's the difference when you do it yourself and just the satisfaction and all that stuff. Like, it's just, it's great. But the problem is not a lot of people are willing to do that. They're not willing to take the time to learn and to put the work into it. And so that's why we end up in situations like we are here, where there's, a lot of people see what has to happen. Like everybody, I think, at least, in our community, if you will, everyone knows that like they need to get out of the cities and all that sort of stuff. But number one, people can't financially, but then also like the ones who can financially aren't necessarily willing to, put in the blood, sweat, and tears that are necessary to do it. And so it's, if you want to have the castle in the woods, you got to be willing to put the work into it now. And it's
it doesn't happen.
You're running out of time.
I do know some people that are making the right choices, though. Shout out to my buddy that was just visiting. He bought a trailer first. Because like you got to think about your transition, especially to somewhere cold. Like you have to bring somewhere that's almost right. You have to have something to live in while you build your forever home. And that's just a fact. Like it's
we've got friends here who they moved here from Quebec back before the lockdowns, but it's a family of 5. And like they have an amazing farm today. Like you go, like everything's off grid. They've got animals as far as the eyes can see, sort of thing. But they did just that. Like they came here as a family of 5, young family of 5, and they lived in a tiny house that they could pull with a Subaru. They did that, for a couple of years. They lived in that, until they were able to, like you did, build their home. And I mean, they built this amazing, mansion-y. It's like a hobbit house in the side of a hill that has a grass roof and all this sort of stuff. But it's they like you said, they had to have that, their tiny house that they could live in while they
Yeah,
do the work, and
for sure.
it's
Because a lot of the builds that
it's good.
people are talking about building and the different ways of building takes more than 1 year, especially if you have no
It
building
does, yeah,
experience.
yeah,
So like having a trailer or something that can at least get you through the winter. Like I was lucky
yeah,
that I had friends help me put this up so fast. Like I'm so looking forward to spring, man. I'm excited for spring.
yeah,
This I know that I have to go through the transition of everything melting and it's gonna freeze, turn ice, and like whatever. We're almost there.
yeah.
And like before you
Is
know
this
it, I'm
is
gonna
this
be
your?
streaming off my deck outside at night. Like,
Do you have
yeah.
any big building plans for the spring?
Well, I want to grow, so I am gonna have to fill up the inside here with different seedlings and stuff like that in May. Not until then,
Yeah.
really.
Wow.
Yeah, you can't plant anything until June
Yeah,
because
we have a greenhouse as well as the outside, so we'll have stuff in the greenhouse probably by like next month, and then we'll be in the ground early June is when we usually go for the ground.
I'm gonna have a small. I got the small fireplace that uh, Pladsmith gave me that I was gonna use
Yep.
um, for the greenhouse because you do need it. Yeah, I want a
Hmm.
greenhouse. I got to put the railing above my new addition here so I can put the door coming out, and that honestly will double floor space in the summertime as well,
Hmm.
upstairs and down. And I got to finish the pole barn I started. And so yeah, there's going to be a lot of progress. I
Awesome.
basically did a lot of half builds last year, and now I'll be finishing them up.
Sweet.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Love seeing that progress. I know everybody loves seeing it. It's encouraging, and I think it's inspiring to a lot of people to see what you can do with little to no knowledge and just a group of friends who are
you can
willing to
just
help
do
out. And
things as
yeah,
long as you
you can
have
just do things.
the will. Yeah, you can just do
Yep.
things. Even if if you're slugging away at a job where you're only allowed to put $100 a week away, you can still do a build with that. Like at the
Yep.
end of 2 weeks, if if you have no money to start, you dig your holes. In 2 weeks, you have $200 or whatever,
Yep.
however long time it takes. Then you have concrete footings. Put those by. You can build in stages.
Yeah. This house that I live in, it was built in the early '90s. The guy who built it actually just lives down the road here. He when we first bought the house, he came up and kind of told us the story of the build, and he had $167 in his bank when he started building the house. And the rest came from helping, friends helping with the build, trading things and stuff like that. And it's
Yeah.
you don't need to be a millionaire to get out there and build yourself a house.
Nope. Just have to have a plan and stick to it. Can't keep calling
Hmm.
audibles all the time
Yeah.
for silly reasons. You have to work through a
Oh,
lot of
there'll
stuff.
always be. It's the same as having kids, right? Everyone's like, oh, we'll wait till we have till we have some money till we have kids. Like you're never going to have enough money. Just like,
Nope.
you
No,
know,
you won't.
yeah, you'll never have enough
Like,
money to own a house. You'll never have enough money to build the house that you want. Like, we have a pretty great place here. We're on 5 acres, 4 bedroom, 2 bath. There's plenty of things that the house needs. Our back door actually almost fell off this winter because I closed it too hard. But like, we've got a great little place here. It cost us like $105,000 back before the market went crazy.
wow. Yeah.
But like, it's everyone kind of has these, dream places in their head that are, just are way out of their reach. And you can't, you have to be realistic in your goals. And,
You have to be willing to
and
sacrifice a lot of things. Like people
yeah,
don't realize, uh, like a wood fireplace takes work.
yep,
Yeah, it didn't cost me much. It cost me $400 to put in, and now I got to buy wood, and I'll always have heat. Simple, but
yep.
it's a lot of work. Like I'm
But
definitely
look
gonna
at, I mean,
upgrade to get it
what are we
done.
seeing? What are we seeing right now all winter? I don't know if you guys are seeing this in Ontario, but I know here in the Maritimes, hydro bills have been through the roof for people, like double and triple what they've normally been paying. And I'm sitting
Yeah,
like people are posting their bills 700, 800, 1200, $1,500 for 1 month. And I'm sitting back here as I chop a piece of wood to throw in my furnace with my $200 hydro bill saying, I think I'll stick with wood as opposed to these beautiful, pumps and things that you guys are trying
yeah.
to tell me to get. But yeah, it's more work, but like I'm not paying $1,500 a month for, to heat my house.
No, No, that's insanity. I had to get out of that.
Yeah.
Like between rent going up, mortgage, taxes, heating bills, they're putting everybody in a pinch point now. And I've been seeing a lot of
Yeah.
that online talking about they're already prepared for civil unrest. Like it's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be wild.
Yeah, it's. I mean, of course, we've got Carney was declared the supreme leader this evening.
He's so
I
phony,
did
dude.
the
Like,
I did the math on it. 0.37% of the Canadian population is what picked the current prime minister of our country. So that seems like democracy, right?
what is it?
0.37%. 0.37. Not even 1% of the population. So it was
It's so
155,000
ridiculous.
people
It's
voted.
not even funny. It's so
Yeah.
ridiculous. You could like, the idea Trudeau keeps saying goodbye. Like, leave already, man. You're done. You're done.
They were like doing the little in memoriam thing of him tonight on with the video, and I was like, they're literally like thanking and praising the guy that they kicked out. Like, what is going on here?
It's so fucking gay. Like,
Oh, it's just
just
ridiculous.
leave already. Like, our place is in terrible shape. They banned more guns.
Yep.
Okay, like it can't be any more
179 more.
obvious to anybody here
Who
that
would
you
have
have no
thought?
rights.
Who would have thought at any point in time that handgun owners would be the freest gun owners in Canada? Because if you currently own one, you're good to go. You're grandfathered in. You can still go to the range and shoot your gun. But basically, everybody else is
Anybody that
effectively
signed up, anybody
Yeah.
that signed up to have one, basically. I see
Oh, it's
people
ridiculous,
asking
man.
about Pat King. No, he's going to come on tomorrow night. He had to
Mr.
cancel. He said he
Atkin.
had plans tonight. So Mr. Burke so graciously stepped in, and he will be on tomorrow night. And I think Jeremy's going to join us a little bit. I think he said he just had to wax his balls.
That's
Wax my
very
nuts.
important for streaming. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Gotta look your best.
Yeah. In case you stand up by accident and they realize you don't have pants on.
Can never show them below the waist on the stream.
Have you been seeing the fucking carnage that's been going on in Toronto? I'm not sure exactly like this, but one lady went to the bank in the morning and some guys went with a killdozer, an excavator, and took a bank
Yeah.
machine from Scotia.
Hasn't there been? I think there's been multiples of this. Like I saw somebody saying that this is now a recurring event of stealing.
It's a perfect
ATMs.
video, though. It's a perfect video. The oblivious liberal compared to the bigger implications about what's going on, though. I'll show you.
Love it.
Hi everyone. So I came to go to the bank this morning, and this is what happened. Apparently, some people stole this piece of machinery and took the entire ATM at Scotiabank. Isn't that ridiculous? Ridiculous, right? I'm telling you, this world, what is it coming to? I can't even do my banking.
I can't even do my banking.
That's the big picture to you, that you're inconvenienced about doing your banking.
Oh, they should open the doors just for her.
Incredible.
The entitlement.
I can't believe
of
I'm not
these
even
days.
can't even do your banking.
even-
Bitch, there's psychopaths out there running into excavators stealing bank machines. Like,
The voice was perfect for. I can't even do my banking. Like
she sounded
Oh.
half high.
Yeah.
Like she's on fucking muscle relaxers.
That's wow.
Here's another good one. Actually, I'll save that one. This one is just 401 driving. You tell me what you think. You can tell this guy speeds up, and we're all guilty of this, I'll admit. When somebody's trying to race up on the left-hand side,
Yeah.
when the lane's closing on the right-hand side, they try to race up in front of you, right?
Of course, yes.
We've all sped up to try and screw them over. We've all tried to speed up.
Of course.
So
You're not getting
there's a
past
problem.
me.
Right, there's problems on both sides. That right lane is always supposed to be clear. Nobody is supposed to be
Yes.
taking it to the end.
No.
That's not the way Canadians are. It's only since these foreigners got here that they started doing that, and now we get traffic because of you fucking idiots. But this guy, yeah, you could tell exactly when he speeds up. You tell me whose fault you think this is.
Going to be like screaming the anthem, and that was going to be the statement. But anyway, she chose to change the words. I actually thought it was pretty cool. I liked it, but people are pretty mixed. So I posted a quick little like reel on her Instagram and sort of like, what are your thoughts? And it's just kind of blown up.
But I just want to draw your attention to the fact that you didn't even see that part of the game, and it was me who told you.
Really, that's all we have to show. But you can tell he sped up. You know what I mean? He's
There was a
coming.
little speedy, yeah.
They both lost in a game of chicken. That's
he parked in there perfectly, though. It's just kind of slid in, pop, and it perfect. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with people, man. It's insane.
Well, it gets better. I have a series of videos to show you just what Toronto life is.
Just the complete degradation of Canada as we
and then we can see it all around. This is someone that thinks they have rights in Canada.
Warrant, show me the warrant. Show me the warrant. Mummy, idhar aa jao. Mummy, inse kuch nahi baat karne ka. Mummy, aa jao.
Let me talk with them.
Mummy, they're gonna fuck us up. I'm sending this to Indian ministry too. Mummy, Indian ministry हमको help करेगी. आप India के citizen हो. Mummy, aa jao. Mummy, aa jao andar. Mummy, ये सबको मार देंगे. I know. I understand. No, they're breaking the law. Where's your search warrant? Mummy, मत जाओ. आपको arrest करेंगे. अंदर आओ. Under ow! They're gonna arrest you, I know. Look at them, they're making a whole case. I don't trust them. I don't care. You guys made me.
Can you calm down? Calm down.
Where's the warrant? Show better not. That's what I thought. So why do you have this? You're not coming into my house, right? Are you coming to my house? Mommy, they're here for me. I will talk to them. You have no authority to talk to my mom. So listen, you, these guys bought a thing to break my door. Go suck all your guys' mom. 14 Division, go suck my dick. You guys are pieces of shit. Go catch the real criminals. They're fucking stealing cars. You know how many stolen cars are parked in this building? Do you guys even know that? This guy fucking arrested me because he's a little bitch. Look at this guy. He's a little bitch. You're a little bitch. You're a little bitch. Go arrest the real criminals. Go arrest the real people who are fucking selling drugs. You guys don't do your job properly, brother. You guys don't. I tried applying for OACP. I withdrew my application. I got all my refund. Because I don't believe in... Again, for the record, you're ready for all the... You know, Toronto police will give you blowback for this. If they don't, then I don't know what Toronto police is doing. Because you guys are fucking up reputations for...
I don't know what Toronto police is doing. I wanted everybody to listen to that entire thing. And think about that. Those guys, if that guy is guilty of whatever it is that they have that fucking battering ram.
I mean, you're bringing a battering ram. That's not like, a guy said a mean word. That's something intense, at least.
We have no idea what he's being charged with either. Right? I don't know if he has a warrant. I don't know if they have a battering ram. See, you're just hearing one guy go ooga booga fucking flipping out. Yeah. Right? So,
and you can tell from the way that he's speaking that he gets his law from like the sovereign citizen style YouTube videos, because he, like you said, is somebody who thinks they have rights. That was
well, it'll be funny to watch. Like, I wouldn't answer them or talk to them or question them, but there's also a way of doing it not yelling in their faces like that, because if you are guilty of something,
I've had them here at my door many a times over the years.
They will get you alone. Just remember that. There's a cordial way of doing this stuff.
Use your head, people. Use your head. Just speak like a human.
Like, Jesus Christ, it sounded like his sister and whoever else he lived with had enough of him as well. Like, it sounded that way.
Yeah, they were done. Like, get him out of here.
Yeah, just take him.
Yeah. Bizarre.
Yeah, stay in honor. Bizarre. Like, we are supposed to be an honorable society. Well, that's gone out the window. Like,
yeah, that's gone.
What happens when it's the roles reversed? When it's just a Sikh army there that's coming outside your door, all wearing the Toronto police uniform?
You need to say sorry, and you need to be kind, and do exactly as you're told. And it's people don't seem to realize. I don't understand how they don't see it. See what's going on as this happens. And the shoe will probably eventually be on the other foot. It's unfortunate.
I will even drive this point home a little bit further. Here's the Hamilton police training to be culturally sensitive to Sikhs.
The Hamilton Police Services started an initiative where they invite new recruits to various places of worship throughout the year. On this day, their goal was to learn about the Sikh community's faith, identity, and culture. I started off with a tour of the facilities and basic protocols while visiting a Gurdwara. I shared a presentation prepared by the World Sikh Organization on Sikhs in Canada, how to recognize Sikhs, our articles of faith and what they represent, the treatment of these articles, religious accommodations and the freedom of religion, consent and respect for body searches on Sikhs, international students, Sikhs in politics, and more. My goal was to enhance their understanding of Sikhs so that they're able to respond to calls appropriately. If they were ever called to a Gurdwara or a Sikh family's home in an emergency, they would have more awareness and knowledge of Sikh beliefs and practices to provide culturally appropriate care. In the end, they all enjoyed a delicious meal in the Langar Hall. Initiatives like this one help break down biases and prejudices, foster trust, improve communication, and community relations. We look forward to teaching the next batch of recruits throughout the year.
So here's the thing. When I was in Bible college, we went to I think it's called a mosque or temple, whatever that building is that they were all in. We went to one of these because as a part of one of our courses, our professor wanted us to learn about other faiths. You know what they didn't make us do when we went to that temple?
What's that?
Play dress up.
That's nice of them.
Isn't it? I think this
Isn't
is
it kind of odd to anybody that our police officers have to go through cultural sensitivity training to them, as opposed to paying for Canadian training for them?
Yeah.
Not that I don't even think they
our
would.
Customs. Oh.
No, and I don't even think that would matter anyway. They're not here to take part.
No.
They're here to take over.
Bizarre.
Like the idea that they have fucking Punjabi night in Canada or whatever it's called for hockey for them. Like they have a completely separate channel. Why are you doing that? When none of us watch that channel, that economically is not fueling anything for us. You are having a parallel economy right beside what we were doing.
Yeah.
And fuck, I couldn't hammer this home enough for people that they're taking the trade routes. If they're buying all the gas stations up Highway 11 and different northern parts, what do you think that's going to be
not just
like
there? Everywhere.
When your car breaks down and you get stuck with a mechanic that you can't afford a tow to, so you got to go to that guy and you're stuck there because he wants so much for a part. Like, yeah, dude, this is going to be, we're coming into a fucked up part of time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, again, like it's so obvious to us, it seems, but it's so obvious that I can't understand why it's not at least like somewhat obvious to everybody else. Like we've here in PEI, the big problem that we've got is these guys, the CCP, taking over and buying up all the land, under the guise of the monks and stuff. But it's been really interesting over the last year or so as people, as the quote unquote crazy people are bringing to light, like these guys own thousands and thousands of acres of land on the island. The normies are kind of like, oh, wait a minute. Wait, huh? And then they own this business and they own this business. And so it's, people they see it when it really, really starts to hit home. So like, here in PEI, a very small spot. So obviously there's only so much land that people can buy and we're kind of running out of it. And now people are realizing that they own like 4 or 10 or 20. We're not really sure how many thousand acres they own, but like it's causing people who would never normally question anything of the government or anything like that to finally look at things and say, wait, so if they are doing it here, maybe they're doing it there as well. And so hopefully in places like Ontario, where it's every single gas station and every single convenience store, like hopefully there are at least some people that are like, okay, wait a minute, what's happening here?
Some are.
Hopefully.
A lot of people are noticing. They're just saying it under their breath.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's out of control. And like I say, we're not going to have safe trade routes, and that's a huge problem. Yeah. I know I'm looking a little bit further into the future, but I'm usually right with my predictions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, most of us are batting 1,000 here, right? And like, so maybe start listening a bit.
It's not safe to be doing that. Like, if you want to trade routes, it's so like if you don't have a gas station for a 4-hour fucking Most cars can drive 4 or 5 hours, on a
Yep.
tank of gas.
Yep.
You get caught out in some of these places, and especially, there's Jeremy. Some of these places that you get caught up where it's just a long, long uninhabited stretch that if you get caught in a snowstorm, you're just fucking screwed.
You're done. Yep. Well, think about, like, I know we always, hey, buddy, how's it going?
You guys just keep talking like I didn't. Okay, fine.
Hey.
Maybe you just can't hear us.
I can.
I don't think you. Oh, well, good. Hi.
I'm used to being ignored. It's fine. Fine.
We said hi and you ignored us, and then
I didn't hear any of that. I heard lots of fucking
gobbledygook.
Chinese.
The gobbledygook. Yeah. How are you, man?
I'm good. I'm just trying to cram another meal into my face.
Yeah.
Hard work.
It is.
Yeah, I gotta say, just having an extra pair of hands around here for 2 days just increased productivity by more than double.
Oh yeah.
Just with chopping wood, moving it, taking care of the dog, moving him out of the way, shoveling snow. That was awesome. That freed up enough time to eat well.
There you go, Jeremy. You just need another hand.
I do.
10 or 10.
Several. I already told the Americans I need 12 guys on full-time staff and $100 million. I'll take this country down. No problem.
Perfect.
That's dirt
I like
cheap.
it.
I mean, they spend way more on Libya, Syria, Iraq. I mean, I can do $100 million is nothing. Doge has found that already, just in payroll of people of 150.
Those guys there's already people with a ton of money invested in this place going down.
Yeah.
They're just stripping the assets of this place.
Yeah, I don't think it can be stopped.
I don't think so either. I think it's on a trajectory.
Man,
now.
it's amazing. Like, I was saying this like 8 years ago. It's like I think it's in Canada's destiny to break up, and I wanted to fight for it. I did. Like, I went through Doug Ford, fucking the first time. I remember when Doug Ford was voted in. That was the first time I ever voted. Was when Doug Ford first got in, and man,
Buck Peter, buddy. Oh,
what the fuck?
That really was a good. That turned out well.
Yeah.
And then I voted for Bernier once. And that's the only 2 times I've ever voted.
Vote for me, and you can have more Indian candidate. many India.
Like, man,
I feel like they're also terribly misled by the polls that they do. Like, I mean, I loved the idea of PPC, and I know you guys too. Like, you were a founding member, and you voted for them and stuff too.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
And then, like, I mean, we all know that like there's no hope for them right now. And then, like, one person will do a poll, which of course, when you send it out to 10,000 PPC members, obviously it's going to come in your favor. And I don't understand why these people don't seem to realize that, like, the polls that are keeping them in hope are just polls of literally their own people. And it's bizarre. It's
they do it on Twitter all the time. They'll do a poll. It'll be like 5,000 votes. It's like 90% repeat. It's like, you don't seem to understand how social media works. You're in the PPC bubble, and 99% of the people who see what you're posting are also of the same mindset as you. Of course, you're going to get that.
Dude, it's a harsh reality you learn early. Like, I've been helping Faith Goldie. I'm thinking, yeah, she really feels like she has a shot. No.
Yeah.
You need money. You need money to win. That's the whole. That's what nobody seems to want to address. You need a federal election, $50 million at least. The Liberals let one 20. They said 25, but probably you can double that.
It's all about the mainstream, right? They get to control a lot of the narrative. A lot of people aren't on social media. Surprisingly,
you got to pay for advertising, transportation costs, staff, volunteers, leaflets, pamphlets, billboards, radio, interview, travel, all of that. Who's paying for that?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, just run for a politics. Okay, can you give me $100 million and I'll run for politics? Give me $100 million and I'll start a nationalist party and we'll run for politics. Oh, you don't have the $100 million? Shit. Okay, well, I guess
weird.
Yeah.
Fuck, I guess we can't do it, guys.
Yeah.
Who has all the money? I think it's the people at the banks and stuff, right? Didn't we just get a new banker prime minister that no one voted for?
Nice. Something about that. Yeah.
Just incredible, isn't it?
You got 10 times the donations as the next person. So that's
and you see how the CBC presented it to everybody? They're like, Mark Carney got 85% of the vote. Of what vote? 150,000.
155,000. Yeah.
You got 85% of the money too.
Yeah.
That's what voting is. That's how it works, guys. Money is everything in this fucking game, and it doesn't.
Oh, there was no doubt that
and
guy was good.
It's ridiculous to think about. So, like, literally everybody knew from the moment. Actually, a lot of people even knew before Trudeau resigned that Carney was going to be next. Now, everyone knew it.
Just
now
based on the money alone.
Yeah.
Like, that
but
was
now
it. It was
consider
obvious.
the hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of dollars that were wasted the last 2 months, month and a half on Freeland and Gould and the other ones whose names I can't even remember because they're that insignificant. But just the hundreds of thousands of dollars that these people would have wasted because everybody knew it was Carney from day one. And it's just so bizarre that they would still go through the whole rigmarole and just piss away the money just because.
We knew everybody was sitting at the trough for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they didn't hide any of this from us. This
No.
is what all of us were waving around yelling. It's like, hey, he just gave $70 million to some random country I'm not even sure exists. $3 billion to a company I'm not sure exists. Like, what is going on? Everybody fucking ring the alarm bells, and nobody, like, everybody's like, oh fuck,
It's all good.
Taking over. Like,
and you know, the thing with the PPC and Bernier is, like, he's not electable. He can't win.
he had one shot.
That was his election to lose, or like, you couldn't gain any ground in 2021. Everybody hated every party. It was the vaccine election, and you didn't run on anti-vaccine, man. That's all you had to do, is really go hard at that. And, you know, even with the limited amount of money and shit they had, they probably should have been. How did you not win any seats in that election?
Nothing, not one.
Unbelievable.
So
you had
bizarre.
Donut O'Toole was your competition, Jagmeet Singh and Trudeau, and you couldn't, you know,
Couldn't
and then
muster up one.
they took all their money and tried to win a seat in Manitoba that he couldn't win. He couldn't win his own riding in Quebec that he's, you know, had forever. He tried another one somewhere in Ontario. Like, you can't, he's not going to do it. So
get a clue.
If you're, you know, the leader, you should be, you know, be able to take stock of that and go, okay, this isn't working. We got to do something else. I got to get somebody else in here. Because I'm not, apparently, I just, you know, it's not going to happen. So, but it's all about him. It's about him and his retirement fund and him doing his thing. It's not about Canada, right? Because he's a politician. They're all the same. It's me first, and then if there's anything left over, and if it suits me, then I'll help you. But only if it helps me get where I'm going to go, then I'll do it. But that's how they all operate.
Yeah, it's I'm not too sure why everyone seems to think that, you know, even because again, he was a politician even before PPC was around. So, like, you know, he's one of them. He's you know, I love the ideas and their values and stuff, but, like, you can't even get one seat anywhere in the country when you're moving people around and all this stuff. Like, obviously they're not the savior of the country, folks. It's time
it was worth a shot, but it didn't work.
Yeah,
and then trying to do the same thing that didn't work. If you couldn't win in 2021, you're not going to win now.
You're never going to. Yeah.
So
like 2021 was the year that he could have gotten something. He was the only one saying something different, but he still wasn't saying quite enough.
And I hate to say it to people. I hate to say I told us so about Pierre. It was his election to lose, and he's losing it.
Yeah.
Dude, you just let it fucking slip through your fingers there, eh? Just all they had to do is your anti-Trudeauism. If there's no Trudeau, what do you have? You're just
Well, I'll give it to Patrick Bet. I never got to the clip on my last stream, but there's a 5 or 6 minute clip of him just ripping Pierre Poilievre apart.
Yeah,
and he's 100% right. He said he's campaigning the exact same way Kamala Harris did, and I said yes, he is, because they're basically the same. Because Kamala Harris didn't do any long form podcast interviews with anyone, which is the new media. That's how everyone is getting to know anyone these days. Trump figured that out.
That's it.
His team figured it out much. Yeah, a safe space where no one's going to ask him any. Like, they're on the same team, obviously. That's why Kamala did. Could you imagine Kamala Harris on Joe Rogan for 2 or 3 hours? She'd get.
She would be slaughtered.
God. Same thing with Pierre. He can't speak without a script, but that's been rehearsed and practiced. He doesn't know what's going on unless somebody tells him what's going on, and he has to wait for polling to decide which way is the safe way to speak and talk. This guy's not cut out for this. He's terrible.
Yeah.
He's the male Kamala Harris. He's just there in the same way as Harris's whole campaign was fuck Trump, right?
Yep.
And that wasn't enough. And Pierre's whole thing is fuck Trudeau, and that's not going to do it. And now Trudeau's gone. So what are you offering now?
What's he got now?
You can't. And again, and it was COVID, and the vaccines was on everybody's mind, and nobody had the guts to champion that. Now it's mass migration and Indians and demographic replacement, and nobody will do that. Instead, Bernier's, look, we have so many Indian candidates. Like, oh, for fuck's sakes, you know,
The engineers. We have the engineers.
Yeah. That was the new Canadian space engineer guy. I think he was testing the produce in Regina, rolling around naked
that's
on top
exactly.
I got that one.
That's the new way. The new way to test it. Yeah,
that's engineering 101. That's what they teach in Calcutta University. Taj Mahal.
For sure.
I got that one. It's 9 seconds. This is great. This is awesome. Like, fucking buck ass naked, just gonna dance in your produce.
The thing that I
He
love
lies
about
down,
it,
Fuck
he
the
lies
white
down and
man.
rolls around on it.
nobody cares. Literally, like if you look around the rest of the video, for one, they're all Indian too. But not one of them is like, what's he doing? Why? Like nobody's trying to get the dude to stop. They're all just like, oh, gotta get my apple, gotta get my banana. Like it's and my wife actually made it good. It's just what they do. That's just normal.
Back in the day, he would go to thumping. Somebody
That's
would knock him
Muhammad
out.
doing his thing.
Yeah. Like back in the day, if a father saw somebody doing that, he would punch him in the face.
Oh, dude, you smack him right up the back of the head. Like,
well, this is another reason phones have like ruined society. Because like back like before social media, before cell phones, guys would you could just go downtown and blow off steam and
punch a bitch
as you did. But you would say whatever and do whatever, and you know everybody went home, and you could have been like, oh, so and so said or did whatever. But by tomorrow, the next day, next week, nobody remembers and nobody cares. Now everything is memorialized forever on the internet, so you can't even like I went in Mexico. We went to a bunch of nightclubs and stuff, and I've been around nobody parties anymore because you can't. No. You can't really relax and have a good time anymore because the instant anything happens, everybody's got their fucking phones out. And then that's on the internet forever. And so everyone just stays home or just everyone's very subdued and careful and quiet. It's fucked.
Yeah.
And now it's like, there wasn't cameras and snitches and everything going right to Twitter everywhere. If that happened in 1995, somebody would have just beat the shit out of them, threw them outside, and no one would have had a problem with it. No one would have cared. It would have been fine.
It would have been deserved. Everybody would have looked the other way and they would have cleaned them up.
It's still deserved. He should have been beaten into a fucking pulp and deported that day.
Right? Like no consequences. I just wanted to say thanks to Jen Scenes calling us nasty, dirty whores.
Oh, good. What a nice guy.
came for the abuse. Also, Man in the Mountain says, what I want to know is where's Spider-Man when that ATM was being ripped out of the Nova Scotia or the Scotia Bank? Nah, whatever. We're there. We're Mad Max now, man. Like that's just how that's the country we live in now.
And now you can't buy any guns. Good job.
Hey, good stuff.
Dude, it's so obvious and in your face now. Like there's an invading army taking over your trade routes, your politics, carrying weapons in the street, flashing them off. It is like maximum odor drive, really. Like all these fucking trucks that are going to take out all the houses around them.
Yeah,
dude.
How much? Like, what do you need to do for these people? Like, what to make it so obvious, to make it clear, like. All the things you just like, we literally have foreign people walking in our streets with weapons.
I think like Derek and I talked about this in like 2019. I think it was a stream, but it might have been just a conversation we were having. But I remember it like it was yesterday. And he and I don't know if we were back like after the stream talking or whatever, but we were like, man, this place is going to hell. Like, and I don't know if it was Derek or maybe one of us was like, there's got to be somebody out there. Like, there's a group of guys or somewhere somebody's gearing up to do something, right? And we're like, oh, I mean, there has to be. I mean, it's 35 million people. I mean, somebody somewhere, surely. Nope.
Now we're at 41 million and we're still in the same boat.
Yeah. So people are like, oh, we just need more. We got to wake more people. Nope, that's not the answer. And people used to say, oh, that they just need more education, access to information. That's obviously not the answer. There's more information access than ever, and everyone's dumber than they've ever been. So the thing is, there's only ever a small amount of people, a tiny percentage, that are willing and capable of doing, hard work and risk and sacrifice. Like it's a small percentage. Yep. Someone has to find those people, network them together, and build an organization, and then go to work. And it'll take 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 years. No one's done that yet. So that's why everything continues. Everyone's just basically look, when is Batman coming? It's not happening. Superman is not happening. The way out is a lot of hard work for decades. That's it.
Yes.
And no one wants to do that. Like, no, I want it now. Vote, and then everything goes back. Canada, save Canada. It took 80 years to bring us here, or like the last 30, 40 to get this far, and you're going to set it back in 4 years or 2 years. No, you're not. It's going to take your whole life. For us to get back to like a 2005 level, like status quo, will take 30 years if we started right now. That's how long it'll take.
It's,
so it's
amazing the number of
there,
people who think that it is going to be like an overnight fix, whether it's Pierre winning an election or it's Trump making us the 51st state or whatever it is. Like, people don't seem to realize that this is a long haul. Like us, me standing up and speaking out and being outspoken is like, I'm not doing that for me. I'm doing that because I'm hoping by the time my kids are adults, which actually isn't too far away. I mean, my oldest is 16. I'm hoping that by the time he's an adult, there will be some semblance of some normalcy starting to return. But I mean, that's only 4 years away. So it's probably not even realistic for that.
What I think, Europe's in worse shape, I think. It's not going to be good. People are going to be celebrating and happy about it, but it's going to kill a lot of people. A lot of people are going to die, and it's going to be Washington's fault. They're going to say, "Oh, what they're already doing." Trump has said this at least 3 times that I can think of off the top of my head, where he wouldn't talk around it and like it's a vague. He said it black and white, like we're going to take Canada, we're going to acquire Canada. He either said that directly or he said stuff like we're going to have a lot more oil very soon. We're going to have a whole lot more oil. Where's that going to come from? Canada. And he was asked directly. They said, "Are you going to invade? You're going to take over Canada with the military?" And he said, "No, we're going to do it economically. We're going to do it economically." So he's going to bankrupt us into submission. The plan is, and they know they listen. They take a picture of Canada and they go, "Okay, it looks like," and I blame these Canadian CPAC losers who went down to American CPAC a couple of years ago.
Oh, that was ridiculous.
Like, LARP as Americans. Like, what the fuck are you doing in the United States? It has nothing to do with us, guys, but okay. And they're trying to find backup and because apparently we're incapable of doing it ourselves. We got to go to Daddy America for every little fucking thing. It's shameless. So they're down there and they're doing the Maple MAGA thing and all that. I feel like because they're everywhere. They have the biggest, most well-funded security state in the world. They're watching everything, listening to everything. They've got AI plugged into everything. So at some point, somebody went, "I think the temperature's right now." Like, it's always been an ambition of Washington since the 1800s to acquire Canada, the resources, the land, and also to secure the continent. So now we have a total, zone of control over the continent. And he's looking at Greenland too for the same reasons, because war with China is probably going to be inevitable or very likely. So you need to prepare for that, and that's what he's doing. So if we're incapable of securing our borders and doing any, if there is a war with China, Canada is a very easy staging ground for anybody to just come and set up. So that's not allowed. It's the same reason the Germans and the British, the Germans took countries in Europe. It was to create a buffer zone to protect Germany of the eventual invasion that was coming. And Britain did the same thing. They took over Iceland. Like people don't know other Norway. They just invaded these countries with militaries. Like, yeah, we're taking this now because we need to. That's how it goes in wars of this scale.
Isn't that how like Newfoundland was established too? They're just like, we need an airstrip here.
Yeah, I think they did.
That's what we're doing. Like,
but I think they crunched the numbers, and I think they went, look, there's no military in Canada. Their police are fucked. They're totally overrun by crime. The government's rotten to the core and corrupt. But most importantly, national cohesion is at zero. Everybody hates everybody. There's no unity whatsoever. If there's ever a time to try and take this country, it's right now. And look, Alberta Western secession sentiment is high. If you can get Alberta, which is all you need, you get the whole country, because that's the economic engine of the country. And
Jeremy, I'm telling you, now is the time to give a nationalist speech.
To who?
Now is to everybody, but we have nowhere to.
We already have everybody. Everyone that's thinks like us, that sees what we're doing, is already in our camp in this country. We have everybody that there is. There's no one else left.
It's just that there's such a spotlight and a vacuum of power right now. Well, Carney's just stepping into the role. I don't know where this is going to lead. It has to lead to the fucking
hell.
Like, the first thing he's going to do, borrow more money.
I think what they'll do is the tariffs are meant to crush economic stability in the country. And China's tariffing us now because we tariff them, probably at the request of Washington, because like, oh, please, what do we do to not, I want you to tariff China. I want you to do. This is all the CIA, the State Department have already crunched this. They know that if we do that, China will hit us back. It'll further weaken our economic our stability.
Yep.
So they're going to bring us to a point of like worse than the convoy crisis level. There may be riots. I don't know how bad it's going to get. Really bad, especially in Ontario. Western Canada is going to be really BC. It's going to get bad. And then Trump can save us because it'll be an international. Canada will be one of the first Western countries to go. It might be a failed state. People are lining up for food around the blocks. Crimes. I don't know what's going to happen. We're going to have to save Canada from itself. What a shame, but we're going to have to do it. And most of the people go, thank you, please, God. And this was all this. I can see it happening, but knowing what it's happening and being able to do anything about it are two different things. And Ottawa's one thing. Man versus tiger.
That's been my exact thought since. So I think November 29th is when Trudeau went down to Mar-a-Lago, and so it would have been like the 30th that Trump did his tweet, his infamous tweet calling us the 51st state, and it was basically right from then on is when I thought exactly what you just said. Like that's exactly in my mind what the plan is: bankrupt us through tariffs, and then they'll have to.
We're going to acquire Canada. Economically, he said that multiple times, and now they're strangling us economically. To what end? So we go, okay, please stop. What do you want?
They're so desperate. Exactly. Okay. You got it.
They know the government's not popular. Everybody here hates them. They just have to apply that pressure. Everyone will blame Ottawa more than because they know Trump's very popular.
Yep. Of course.
They know they'll blame Ottawa. He can come in and be the hero. All done. There. Look at me. I'm one of the greatest American presidents. I did what nobody could do. It took them forever, 100 years and some, and I got Canada in fucking 6 months. Look at that. Look how smart I am. Mm-hmm. They're doing it. And everybody's like, it's not going to. Pierre's out LARP. They're all playing house. Oh, we're going to do this and that. You're not going to do shit. If we still have a country in a year or two, I'll be surprised.
I will be very surprised.
I would.
If there's not American flags flying around here in 2 years, I'll be surprised.
Yeah.
I think they're going to liquidate all of the assets, and it could be battleground Canada. Like, who knows? It could be the Chinese or the Russians versus America right here in Canada. Canada's Ukraine.
Yeah.
Well, we'll probably end up a territory like Puerto Rico, and then they'll put the missile defenses and Navy stations and stuff along the coast and the Arctic.
Yeah.
The Arctic is now the North American Arctic. It's not the Canadian. They already took our territory. The Arctic is Canadian territory. It's no different than like Manitoba. That's our ground and territory. Just because there's nothing built on it doesn't mean it's not and it's theirs now. It's now the North American Arctic. So they're already taking territory, and I sleep. Oh, boo, America!
Did you see that they tried to steal some of our national parks too a couple of weeks ago? A bunch of our national parks from like in BC and Alberta on Google Maps were all changed to state parks.
That's funny.
For about 2 days.
That's good trolling. Like, and Gulf of America, I've been seeing videos of guys. They're going to start doing their oil thing, I guess, in the ocean, in the Gulf of America, because they weren't allowed to drill in Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah. Trump's just one of these guys that's like, I can do whatever I want. You can't stop me. And now he's like, I'll just take Canada. And I don't see why he won't and can't.
It's so fucked.
Why wouldn't he?
Like,
tell me. I would love for any of these politicians to like, tell me how you're going to stop this from happening. Because I'm not, again, I don't know everything. I don't know what's going on in Ottawa. I don't know but the whole, big picture of the situation is. But from where I'm sitting and from what I do know about the country, especially our security situation, we're broke. We have no money. I personally have more gold than the government of Canada because it has zero. If you have 1 ounce of gold, you're 100% richer than Canada is because we have none. We have no resources. They're all sold off to the Chinese. We don't even have manpower. Everybody's sick and dying. We're top heavy with migrants that we're paying for while our working class is shredded and destroyed. The security system situation is out of control. The police just give them your car keys and fucking let them kill you. I don't know. Like this place, it's going to fall apart. It's falling apart. And it's just a plane with no wings on fire headed to the ground. Everyone's like, we should vote for Pierre. I'm like, get a parachute. Fuck voting.
It's also the bubble, the real estate bubble that everybody thinks they're going to retire on. They have this myth that they're gonna fucking retire. Like, so long I don't care what happens to me. I'll be fine. No, all of that, you have inflated wealth right now. Whatever you think you're gonna fucking live on,
you'll be fine. How? Doing what? In a nursing home filled with Indians who are just gonna smother you and kill you and do God knows what to you.
Well, the good news though, like they're reporting that MAID is going to save the country. What is it, millions or billions? I can't remember what they said. So I mean, they don't care anyway. They'll just take you out so that they can save a few bucks.
Yeah, they're gonna, and we've got the pipeline. Like, there's a lot. There's trillions of dollars in resources here that we're not taking advantage of, that the Americans would love to have. And uranium, potash, coal, diamonds, gold, you name it.
Yeah,
forestry, water. We have more water than anybody in the world, and that
we give it away for $1.
We got everything, and it's right here, just tantalizingly right there. Like, even 20 years ago, it wouldn't be great, but the military could have at least put up some kind of a fight and made it messy.
Yeah.
There was a doctrine. I'm not going to explain how exactly it works because you never know who's watching, but there was a plan that if we ever were invaded by the United States, we have a plan, and it's not a bad one. It's actually, you're not going to stay. All right, let's put them up. We would get murdered in a day.
It'll never happen. Yeah.
So there was a plan B, and it would have, after what we've seen in Afghanistan and Iraq and everywhere else, it would have just been a fucking nightmare that went on forever. And I saw the National Post be like, "Oh, it would be a guerrilla warfare for like forever, America." 20 years ago, yeah, it would have been. Now,
it's so ridiculous.
We don't have the military, dog.
What you're taking the guns away from the citizens that would actually want to protect it.
Yeah, we don't have a military either. And 20 years ago, we had tons of guys. You could just go get an SKS, a Canadian Tire, for $150,
right?
Which will drop a soldier. It'll drop a man easy, and we don't.
Oh yeah,
we have nothing now. So I don't know. I don't know how this is prevented at all. They're just going to keep squeezing our neck until we tap out, and then they take us down, and that's it.
Yeah,
So 6 months, a year, 3. I don't know. I don't know when we're going to be absorbed by the United States, but I'll be shocked if it doesn't happen.
I'm like, within a year is honestly where I am. I think 2 years might be long, but I think it's probably sooner than later. Whatever that's going to look like, I have no idea.
Trump's only got 4 years, and he wants a legacy, and he wants to get as much as he can. If they don't end up getting it done, it's because America changed its mind, not because Ottawa stopped. It's because America,
sure.
You know what? I'm going to do something else instead. That's why. If we aren't absorbed, that's the reason why.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Northhouse said in the chat there, says America annexing Canada is the start of World War III. No, it's not. Canada can't do anything about it. Nothing. Literally nothing.
Unfortunately. It's already done. They already own us, basically. They have for a while. Now they're just like, well, it's time to now we want you to fall in line properly. Like, okay, you clearly can't manage yourself, so we're just going to take you in. No, I don't want it. It's like daddy's putting the kids to bed. No, you're going to bed now.
Yeah,
it's done. Yeah, you can kick and scream if you want, but
waste of time.
Zaniel says 3% of the population might be able to speed up the process. Do you want to, though? Because a lot of people would be without trade routes. It's ugly when shit like this can happen. It would actually force a lot of Canadians to move south of the border.
If what happened?
If we struggle as much as I think we're going to economically with Mark Carney liquidating our assets, like
probably by summer, fall, they'll go, well, we're going to have to save Canada. We're going to have to go in and save them from themselves. And that'll be it. They'll just because look, the convoy was 2022, and the situation then was bad, but it's so much worse now. Is in the last 3 years, and then it only took 50,000 people, friendly, having a street party in Ottawa, and the whole country was on its knees. I don't think people understand. They pulled every cop that they could find in Canada. They pulled hundreds of cops from other countries, many of them from the United States. They asked the Canadian military to get involved. They said no, and they couldn't anyway because we don't have everybody's. They're in Latvia, they're in Poland, they're in Ukraine. We don't have any troops, and it's like 20 guys here, 40 guys there. We only have a few thousand available, and they're all over the world, exhausted. And they asked the Americans, could you guys maybe, there was talk about sending the American military up here to help them out. So what happens when that will happen again, when people can't feed themselves and everything's falling apart? There's going to be a shit show, and the government's not going to be able to contain it. They're not going to have the cards. If they do, we'll have another emergency act. Like, I will not sit here. I will not be like Joe Biden and just watch Canada be abused by its horrible communist government. I'm going to act immediately and send the United States Marines to restore order and bring Canada, and that'll be it.
Yep,
just like that. And
it would be a regime change just like that.
Yeah, they'll say, "Oh, it's temporary. We're just going to help you, get everything better control." It's not. Nothing's ever temporary with America. Once they get here, they're not leaving, and they're going to be here forever, and that's that. And
like I said, I'd rather buy gas from a Buc-ee's up here than a fucking Jeet at an Esso, like a Buc-ee's with a white guy. But I just want to mention, Camby Dread says, my peppers are a foot tall under the grow lights. I'm super stoked. Shout out to all the fags calling for Christians to die because we are secretly Jews. Losers. B. Keep your head in a swivel says, the state of Diagolon has to be in the name if we do get taken. Who knows, if they redraw all the lines, it could be an opportunity for us to fucking make the state.
I've thought about
Got our little spot.
I mean, I'm proud of our heritage and identity in the country and everything, but you got to be pragmatic at the same time. I could see this happening. Probably from the Conservatives more than anyone, they'll try to resist this and say, "Oh, we have to defend Canada." And they're not going to come to my door personally, but they'll try to like elicit support from people. And I'm going to say, "What's in it for me?" Honestly, what's in it for me? Because if you want me to help you, look, okay, we have a mutual problem that neither of us want. The Americans are going to take over the country. That's not desirable. I don't want that either. But what's in it for me? Because you guys are my enemy. You made it very clear. You tried to already have me jailed while I was in jail. You abused you lied and had my friends killed and abused our citizens, my family, my friends, and you stay home, stay safe, and all that shit. For the last 5 years, we're not friends. You're the enemy. So if you want me to help you, am I going to be, what are you going to give me? What are we getting out of this? It better be substantial for me to even consider it. In other words, if that's not the case, then you're on your own. I'm not going to.
Indians.
Why should we stick our necks out to defend people who hate us? In my opinion, we're what's left of Canada, and we're like Jews now. We're a diaspora. I'm being serious. We're a diaspora in our own country. We've lost our cities. Sure. We've lost our government. We've lost our. Is there a single Canadian mayor in the country? Toronto, Chinese. Edmonton, Indian. Calgary, Indian.
All the biggest podiums are foreigners.
Yep. Right. So Canadians don't have control of our country anymore. So we're already like on our own, essentially. So, we need to just act. So what do you do when you're in that kind of situation? Well, you do what they do. You do what every other small ethnic minority group. Well, you stick together, and if it's good for us, we do it. And if it's not good for us, we don't do it. Is it good for us? You two and me, three guys on the screen here with our friends, family, supporters, followers. Is it good for us to oppose America? Probably not. Probably not. It would be much smarter to just be like, well, I don't like this and I don't want this to happen, but I can't do anything about it. So I'm not going to. Why should I stick my neck out? Exactly.
Can I work at one of your missile installations that you're putting up there?
Absolutely.
There was what's her name? McKenna Climate Barbie put out that the tweet yesterday or the last week, or was it even like within the day or on the same day of the bans? I can't remember, but basically saying that that Canada needs to equip and train, civilians to get ready for war. And this is the woman who was spearheading. So like she was one of the people spearheading taking guns, and she, celebrated the last bans and all these sort of things.
It's amazing.
Now, she's sharing an article of someone who said that we need to, create a, essentially a militia in Canada to be prepared for Trump.
You could probably find her tweets in a row where she says Trump is like Putin. Putin and Trump are the same. We got to send guns to Ukraine. We got to take them from Canadians.
Yeah.
Second year back.
Man in the Mountain says, if Canada or part of it become a territory of the U.S., do you think all the Jeets would head south? A lot of that's going to be a huge problem, isn't it? And I would love to see it addressed because we don't have the manpower to address it. What do you do with all the temporary foreign workers? They're trying to make them citizens as quickly as possible.
Well, right? We saw that. They were just saying the other day. What's the immigration minister guy's name here? I'm just trying to
Mark
find
Miller.
Mark Miller. Here it is. Canada to grant legal status to thousands of undocumented construction workers. This is exactly what we like back when the Liberals first started talking about the immigration problem and saying things like we need to, we realize that we screwed up on our numbers and stuff. We all said the same thing. Yes, they're going to quote unquote cut their immigration numbers, but all that's going to mean is that they're going to fast track people. And here we are, a year, 2 years later, and they're literally saying, we found thousands of undocumented construction workers, but we really need construction workers, so we're going to have to fast track these guys. Like,
dude, that's their answer every time.
It is.
They lie about we don't have enough labor. There's a labor shortage. No, there isn't.
Yeah.
It's cheaper for all these companies to hire these people. And that's why they prefer them. It's not that there's no workers, it's that they want foreign labor because they'll work for nothing and their wages are subsidized by the state. So the companies save piles of money. It's incentivized, and it's not on purpose to disenfranchise and fuck us over.
70% to DEI is what the government pays towards them.
There's a young fellow I know. Him and his family are being not deported, but they have to leave because their permanent residency wasn't done in time. They got to go back to France. They had to leave France because, the killing and the murdering and the raping and everything. So they've been here for a while, and now they got to go back to France because it took too long. I said, well, you should just be brown, just be Indian, and you'd get it like that. And he was like, yeah. So, people thinking it's, I just do it the right way. No, it's rigged against us and white folks, and anybody that looks like us is just fuck you. You're on your own. So we have to act like we're a diaspora. This isn't our country anymore. That Canadian flag, this is my flag now. That Canadian flag doesn't represent me. It hasn't for a long time. It turned on me and turned on you guys. It turned on all of us. And now they're up here being like, oh, we got to defend Canada. Defend what? Defend Indians and Jews and Chinese people in BlackRock? Eat a dick. I'm not doing anything. I'm not lifting a finger. Go fuck yourself. Yeah. Enjoy hell. You people are going to go to jail. Hopefully, I hope the Trump administration comes in here and just rounds all you fuckers up and I hope Elon comes and audits Canada next. I would love I'd love to see that. And if anything,
man.
I'll send a letterhead of one of our, one of our club branded letter. You guys
official.
Yeah. I'll send that there with a statement, this is from the office of, we're not happy about this, and we're not. This is bullshit. However, we're practical people, and let's work out something that's going to be agreeable to both of us, at least.
Well, that's what the tomato guy in Alberta is doing. Why can't Diagolon do that on behalf of people? Like if the Alberta guy can just go down and get meetings, surely we can grab a meeting with Doge.
Who's that? The Alberta guy.
Have you guys not seen this guy? There's he looks like a tomato. Some fella from Alberta who went down to. Yeah, he's very red when he speaks. But he's one of these crazy fellas who but he went down and got a meeting with. I don't think it was with Trump, but it was with somebody important to discuss Alberta's secession of Canada and all this sort of crap. And it's just. I mean, if he can get a meeting, surely we can.
One of the stipulations will be all of our people are not draft eligible. First of all, and you know what? It won't even be that many. It's like how many people do we got? 50,000 at most, right? Yeah. So we're excluded. You'll get a Diagolon card. It's like, oh, sorry, you can't get it. But all you people, like, yeah, MAGA, 51st state, get in the truck. You're going to China. You're going to Iran. Have fun. Your kids will go then. How about your kids? You like meat grinders? Go die for Israel. That's what you're going to do. You just got to take it by the fucking empire. The empire just took over, and you're like, yay. Good
and you
for
have
you.
To take a truckload of Jeets with you. Jeets got to go with you no matter what. One for one.
And they're in worse shape than us. The Americans like, oh, yeah, we'll just take care of it. Quebec East is 75% white guys still, under 35. I shared this data a little while ago. Ontario West, 50% or less. That's the future. So we've already lost that. The Ontario to BC is gone, and you're never getting that back because we'll just vote. How? Vote for who are you going to vote for? With what? You're outnumbered. You will always lose every election forever now. Good job. Quebec East is like 75, 80, 78%, depending on where you go. So it's quite a situation. But we have to survive. If the people don't, the people are the country. If they don't survive, then it's over anyway. So you just got to decide what's going to keep us alive and put us in the better position tomorrow to maybe fix it down the road or do something later. But if you don't survive, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Man on the Mountain says it's not that they are cheaper so much as they are here in Alberta, where I would receive $49,000 for each foreign worker I hire, and I only have to keep them on for 2 years. That would be a lot of cash in the bank if I was to hire 10 tomorrow. Something I would never do, dude.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people don't fully get how that works. Like I this is one that I've discussed with a lot of people here in PEI, because PEI is very bad for the government subsidies towards immigrants. 70% of their salary or their wage is what's given here, and it's and so it's like, and so people, like, when you tell people that it's cheaper to hire immigrants, there's a, like, they'll say, no, it's not, because you know that would be illegal. We don't have slavery in Canada. You can't hire. And we say, well, no, they're still making the same amount, but the company is only paying 30% of it because your taxes are paying it. And people don't seem to understand that. Like, that's a huge bet. As if I owned a business and I was a crook, I would totally get it. Like Man on the Mountain said, $49,000 towards towards each one. Like that's money.
Think about
like, easy
that's
money.
what's happening in the trucking industry. They put up an ad. Oh, sorry, Lima, and then they bring them in, train them themselves, shove them out the door, and they've made $40,000.
And then a whole hockey team full of teenagers gets killed, but some fat boomers over there counting his money, going, "Oh, buddy, I'm going to get a bigger pool." Go to hell. Put a gun in your mouth, shoot the fucking brain out, you faggot. Like, these people they're killing people, but you got to get your money, right?
Security does the exact same. Like, so with security, for example, so Garda World is the big one that's here in Canada. All of their staff effectively are not Canadians.
They're also a joke, if anybody's curious.
Yes.
Garda World
for sure.
They're just mall cops. They have no training. They have no ability, no standards. They're just people with shirts that say security. They're fucking trash and terrible. Garda World is hilarious.
It's cheaper for them, though, because, again, of the money that they profit for them. So, like, because for the jobs around here anyway, RPAL was one of the requirements. And so, but of course, them as a business, they would have their own company that does all of that, stuff if you don't have it. And so it's cheaper for them to hire, an immigrant off the street who came, fresh off the boat, than it is to hire a local person here who is already licensed and has all the, training and stuff. But again, because of those kickbacks for every single, and they're like every single one of them, like literally every single one of their staff seems to be either black or brown. I've never seen a white security guard, anywhere in the Maritimes anyway.
I had a crazy stat that I just looked it up because I was like, I actually don't know, so I'm going to look into this. In 1965, there was about 50,000 black people in Canada total.
Yeah.
50,000. That's it. So the amount of Daglon fans we have, that's how many black people there were in Canada. Now it's like 2 million.
Yeah.
And the vast majority of those are from mass immigration and not from escaped slaves and emancipated people and so on from the 1800s and early 1900s. Mostly just from Africa. Some came Jamaica and the Caribbean in the 60s and 70s, but mostly 90s, 2000s, just Africa. And they're just, a lot of them are in Alberta. I couldn't believe how many were in Alberta. In Saskatchewan, there's tons of black people in Saskatoon. I'm like, what? Is there a long
Where'd you come from?
the black community of Saskatoon, and and I'm listening to them in the grocery store, like they're like Congolese or Nigerian or something. They're not even, they've been here for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
What would be good to look up is Indian versus Indian. See if there's more feather or dot.
There's
I would say there's probably more dot now.
3 or 4 million natives, indigenous. So there's 50,000 blacks. Then we what do we take 1.1 million Indians in 1 year alone? Just for comparison, like Canada was 99% white people in the 60s. Now it's 50% or 49% Ontario West. The vast majority of the country were already a minority. It's not under the age of 35, I should say, which was what matters. So it was like, oh no, it's like 77%. Yeah. Most of those people are 60 or 70 years old.
They're not having kids.
They're not having kids. They're not working. They're not, voting for how much longer? And does it matter? The future is the young, and the young are all non-Canadians. So we are fucked. The country's you can't get it back. So everyone's like, oh, I just got to vote. You guys are like deciding, like, here's how we fix the engine room of the boat when it's like this sinking into the water. Like, dude, that was
get up.
The problem. We get in the boat, the lifeboat. That's all we. But you can't. There's always those people, right? Even on the Titanic, there was people that just sat there and fucked around, like, oh, it'll be fine. Like, people are drowning below deck. No, they're not. Okay, I'm getting the fuck off. See ya. You're retarded. You deserve to die. You're an idiot. Natural selection.
Yeah, that'll be all the people, like the hard left ones that are will to their deathbed will refuse to admit that multiculturalism was a problem, and
Yeah.
the idea of it's easier to tell a man that he's or what is it, to fool a man than to tell him that he's been fooled. And so there are people that will take this to their deathbed knowing full well in their heart of hearts, that we were right, and that this is a mess, but we'll just never admit it because of their
it's at the
pride
point,
or whatever it is.
I mean, the first few years we were at this, and you mean up until probably a year ago, was or more, maybe 2023, 4, whenever I was in jail or something, was trying to talk to people and get it out there, but it's too late. Now that's a waste of time. Like, we already basically have who we got, and if you're not actively like, all right, start preparing for the fight that is inevitable. It is coming, and there's no way out. So every waking minute you spend not preparing for that is a waste of time. It can't be avoided. Yeah. So you should spend every moment that you have available. If you're like, oh, what do I do in the future? Prepare for the unavoidable conflict to come, because it's coming and there's no way around it. So you're like, oh, we do this and we could go. No, all those doors are closed. You're trying locks that they don't work. There's only fighting now. So get ready while you can, because in 2 more years, you're going to wish you had that time back.
Yeah. When you've got like vocal, outspoken liberal politicians saying that you need to, prepare for the worst, like, that it's definitely coming. Like, we've been saying this for years, but now they're saying it too. So like, it's coming. If even they're saying we need a civilian militia and all these sorts of things. And
it's already here. You've got home invasions in places of New Brunswick that never used to happen. You got people getting shot to death in Whitney Pier by Nigerian migrants. You've got 6-year-olds being stabbed to death in the streets of Halifax in the middle of the day. You've got all the stuff that we said 4 or 5 years ago was coming to this country, and then fat, useless, dumb fucks and anti-hate and these fuck. Yeah, well, in my version, if I had it my way, those people would be alive, but you had it your way, so now they're dead. So you kill people with your fat, lazy fucking weakness. We try to stop them, and you try to get in the way. Yeah. So I wish they would kill you. I wish the migrants would kill you. You fat, useless. I mean, they will eventually, because you're too stupid. You have no survival instinct whatsoever. And I'm not going to fucking help you. I'll have a drink. I'll smoke a cigarette. Well, I'll fucking have a great time watching you get butchered in the street. Have fun. I'm not, we're enemies. Oh, you're not going to help me. No, we're enemies. You tried to kill me and, jail me and attack my family, and you doxed my children and all that. Die. I don't, it's not, oh, he's just blowing off steam. No, I hope you do. And when you do, I will laugh at your children if you have any. Be like, you had a stupid father. I'm glad he's dead. Now you're on your own. Fuck you.
Yeah, I had no desire to help.
No.
The system.
Why would you
or
risk
any
it?
of them in there? Like,
don't get involved.
We've been saying for years, find your friends and tribe and train. There's a reason for that. The tribe is my people. It's not the ones who wanted me jailed or wanted me killed or any of these things, because I wouldn't stick poison in my arm. That, by the way, you're all dying from now. Literally, dude, every single Sunday at church, there's more names added to the prayer list of people. This person has cancer now. This person has, like, it's just ridiculous. And it, like, but here we are, oh, can you guys create a civilian militia for us? Because we think the Orange Man's going to come and attack us. Nah, I'm good. I'm just going to stay over here with my people and take care of them.
I'm going to stand there with a milkshake in the street and watch the Marines march through. I'll be like, how you doing? Yeah. Where's my Marine hat? I get the Marines.
They're over there.
Yeah, I'll be like, how you doing?
They're under the floorboards.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you're not going to defend Canada? Like, Canada's dead. It's been dead. Like, we're what's left. We're just like, if this was another country, if this was like basically reverse mass migration, like an Indian in Canada or a Palestinian, actually is a good example, somewhere else, like, that's us now, except we're in we're in a dead husk of what used to be Canada, just trying to survive on the scraps and what we can find.
People remember what this was like when you used to cross over in Ontario into Buffalo, and Buffalo looked like a third world country. Like, everything was falling apart. Fucking, it looked terrible. That's what it feels like in Canada now when you go to some of these old towns. Yeah. Like, all you see is money is being invested into these giant new communities with smart centers and dollar store jobs, and it's just
I think we might be the poorest white country in the world.
Probably.
Believe it.
We're up
We've
there.
got nothing.
Well, we have nothing. And if Canada, was absorbed by the United States, the poorest, the 51st, there's 50 states in America. The 51st poorest state in America would be Ontario.
Wow.
They're poorer than West Virginia.
Yeah.
They're more broke, more bankrupt, more, 51. Nova Scotia would be 57, something like that. There's potholes everywhere. Everything's falling apart. There's no medical, it doesn't exist. There's no police coverage. It doesn't exist. There's no jobs. There's no opportunity. There's nothing. And everyone's like, oh, it's fine. No, we're broke as fuck. I was talking to HT about this the other day, and he's like, what? He's like, how are you guys doing up there? I was like, we're broke. Everything's fucked. Everybody's no money. Like, we're living on Kraft dinner and noodles and fucking whatever you can find in the ditch around your house. Really? Yeah, we're fucked. They taxed us into oblivion, carbon tax on the tax on that other tax, and more taxes for that tax while they give themselves pay raises. It's a wonder to me that politicians can move around freely in this country, not in total fear of their lives, being hunted perpetually by lynch mobs. That's probably what should happen, but it hasn't and it won't, because 90-95% of the men in this country are bitches and they will never do anything.
Cowards, yeah.
You find the 5% of the guys, like there's 10 guys like that one, or every 20, like there might be one or two, like these guys might be okay. You guys want to come with us? The rest of them, like, I don't give a shit. You're busy getting fat, watching sports ball, calling me racist. There's no room for you on the boat. Fuck you. You're on your own. Right.
You can stay down there with the Battle of Brampton when the Jeets go at each other, because that's going to be messy.
Yeah.
Have fun. Think of like 5 years ago or more, like none of us knew each other. Now we have little networks all over the country of 10, 20, 50, hundreds of people, depending on where you're at. That's a huge advantage to have going forward. Whereas our enemies
better off than where we were 5 years ago.
Individuals in their little holes, like, I'm gonna tweet about it. Like, you're fucked as a person. Like this, the problem that is coming is going to require many hands. Like Derek's talking about, this is not something you're going to be able to do with one guy and hold out. You're going to need friends and support, and people are going to have to sell their homes and move in with other people, and they're going to have to share, work. Like all of that's just to survive. We have all that built in. Do you? Probably not. Probably not. Oh, you're just vote for PP. Vote PP. Vote for PPC. Okay. Yeah. We've been, we've
been growing our food for a few years, and we have animals, and we have people, and we have walls, and we have all these things, and they're just going to be like, how do I put a seed in the dirt? Should I do that?
Suffering together for years. So not only do we know it, there's people, everybody's got friends, people they trust. That's a huge, that's what you need. That's currency. That's money. That's actual power. If you had 20 guys that are rock solid, you can trust, and that's a small, that's capital. 20 guys can do a lot. One guy can't do very much of anything. 20 can do a lot, especially if you know how to organize and delegate and use it, use manpower properly. And that's all anybody should be doing if you're at all serious about surviving the next 25 years is that. There's no government power. The government's the enemy. It's full of foreigners and they hate me. Same with every institution is like that. So where do you turn? There's nowhere left. There's 5 doors. They're all locked. You're not allowed in. Okay. So you got to do it yourself or die. So I'm not doing that. So build something yourself. And, if you make it, you don't, but sitting around crying about it and doing nothing it's for children. It's just
not an option.
Go watch the pleb or something. Go fucking be entertained and get fat, drunk, and take some pills. And
forgot about that guy.
I just want to thank a couple of super chats there. 202 TLC says, fantastic stream as always, boys. Thank you. Jensen says, I have it on good authority that natives don't like Indians, but they both hate whites more.
Well, that's to their listen, you guys want to sit around fucking white people, man, they have fun because the money's gonna go off.
Yep.
All gone. No more money for India in the reserves. That's all done. Because do you think an Indian, Chinese, Jewish government is going to be like, oh, we're really concerned about No, you've been surviving on white guilt for fucking 60 years. That's going to be gone because there's not going to be more white people in the government, and you're going to get fucked. Yeah. Fucked. Indians will take that money for themselves. Chinese people will just go, this reserve belongs to China now. And what are you going to do? Complain to Mark Carty? Who's not even, he doesn't even matter anymore. Taking it down. Maybe that's another reason America has to do it, because Canada will be a failed state. You'll have an Indian part of the government, a Chinese part of the government, the Jewish part of the government, the Russian part of the no Canadian part.
Fighting each other.
You have colonies within the cities, and these colonies are establishing trade routes. Like I said, they all see what's happening. We're just allowing them all to steal from us.
Yeah.
The Scotian gentleman says the population numbers are far worse in the USA, but yet Nick Fuentes never speaks like this. The message is on point in Dagland.
Nick
Well,
Fuentes
I'm
is an
saying,
idiot loser. If you're following or listening to Nick Fuentes, hit yourself in the face enough times that the brain damage sorts itself out where you no longer think that's a good idea. It'll level out. You'll level
Eventually,
out.
it takes a while sometimes, but
And you've probably also, if you're listening to Nick Fuentes, you've probably never been punched in the face. So I suggest start doing it to yourself first before you let anybody else do it, because you want to get used to it a little bit. But yeah, he's useless and a waste of everyone's time. He stopped being relevant like 3 years ago, and probably works for the FBI, and he's a homosexual, and like, why you waste your time with this child? Get money, get resources, find friends, and start basically building a miniature kingdom that you can try to manage and survive with. Like, find your own little A team of dudes and start working together, because that's all there is. There's no cops, there's no army, there's no government. None of that shit is coming for you ever. And if they do, it's to kill you, because they're Indians and Chinese guys and they work for the bad guys now. So forget it. So I you know what I mean? I'm not trying to blackpill people or make you depressed, but this is the situation. And that's what
it's the reality.
That's what we're doing. We've got guys all over the country now, hundreds and hundreds. Like it. So there's that. That didn't happen out of nowhere overnight. It took a lot of work and time, and we're going to keep doing it. And when this place goes to hell and everybody's forced to fend for themselves, we have that. What do you have? Are you going to be one of these people that's outside my handmade stone walls that are plastered over, and we've got Derek up there on the ramparts with a shotgun with a cigarette? What the fuck do you want? No, that's how that's going to go for you. Go ask the Indians that you love so much if you can eat today. Maybe they'll give you something, or they'll rape you to death. I don't know. Figure it out.
Yeah. The thing people need to realize is that, like, even if we're wrong, who cares? Like, think of what you gain, like the skills, the friendships, the relationships, the land, I think about the last 4 or 5 years for we started like doing homesteading with animals in 2022, back after we came back from the convoy. And I mean, we did it because we saw that things were going to be really expensive, and they were also reporting about like putting vaccines in lettuce and stuff like that, and so I didn't want to buy food at the grocery store. And so so we started doing that, and now we're at a point where we're growing beef, we're growing pork, we're growing all of our vegetables, chickens, eggs, like all this sort of stuff. And so, like, even if I was wrong 2 years ago when I got my first chicken, and even if the prices today were exactly the same as they were 2 years ago, and they weren't putting mRNA in lettuce and all this, like all the things that I've gained from the last 2 years have been incredible. And so, like,
Jeremy, do you remember
even if you just step out and do it, what do you lose?
You can just do things.
Do you remember when I took my I drove up here and I was in my trailer? I was showing you around where I live, and I had 2 chickens in a box. They're just living there. I was showing you around. I opened up the box, chicken sticks its head out, it goes back in. And I was just showing around my little trailer.
In Tottenham? Or no?
No, I was in my trailer up here. Yeah. They were my first few chickens.
At your build site? Was I there already? Have I been to your place? I don't think so.
No, we were doing a stream, and I was streaming from my my trailer. I guess you were at home fucking. I don't know which house you would have been in. Probably.
Oh, I thought you meant I was physically there. Oh, I don't know.
No, this was on a stream, and I was showing around, and I was living with 2 chickens in my trailer when I first got up there.
Good times.
Yeah,
it's funny. It feels like it was a lifetime ago, but it was like a year ago, wasn't it? A year and a half ago.
Yeah, you just focus on what you can do, like what is available to you. It might just be that. It's like, I might be able to get 2 chickens. Do that then. That's something.
Do it.
And when you get a control of that, you're like, well, there you go. Now you got free eggs for maybe you get 2 more. Then maybe you do something else, and you just slowly. People have a habit. They look at the whole mountain and they go, "Fucking don't worry about that." First of all, the way to the mountain is flat ground, so you don't got to worry. Just start walking, first of all. And then when you get to the bottom, like, well, now you don't have to do that 10-kilometer walk anymore, so that's good. And you just start going. Don't worry about how tall it is. Just go further than you went yesterday. Take a break when you need a break, and just keep going until you win or you're dead. That's life. And then you win. because you're the one making all the decisions. You're the one driving the car. If you fail, it was your fault. If you succeed, it was your fault. Everything is in your control. Everybody else is living in this, like, waiting to be told what to do. And am I allowed to do this? I'm totally living in fear all the time, not doing this, not doing that, or being made to do things they don't want to do, like get vaccinated and wear masks, because someone else told them to. They live in fear, and they're not even in control of their own lives. They don't make any decisions for themselves. It's all done for them through a fucking screen. They're slaves, and I just laugh at them. Like, you're a fucking slave. You're this big. I could step on you. I could step on your soul with my shoe, and I wouldn't even notice. That's how insignificant you are as a person. And they're out. Go tweet about it. Fuck.
It's easy to look at it. Oh, go ahead with that first.
I just want to say that watching Batman's dedication to training, subsequent transformation has been awe-inspiring. It has been, man.
Well,
I remember when I met you, you were big.
300?
Fat guy, man. 330.
Well, it wasn't just that, but I didn't realize how tall you were too. Like, it's like, so
what
it
do
was
you
a
weigh
big
now?
frame carrying a lot of weight. It was just wow. And
What do you weigh
now
200?
215.
215. Nice. What are you? You're like 6'3"?
6'4". Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
you
good
got
weight.
the Jeet off your back.
That's a good healthy weight. Like, that's what you should. Like, I was probably around. I was watching when we screened the Tor movie. I was like, Jesus Christ! I think I was 194 pounds. I was just too big. I was just all I was doing was lifting weights and not, just lifting weights and eating like just being a meat dummy. And I'm like, I'm not really in good shape though. I can't. My conditioning's terrible. I'm down like 175. This is probably the fittest I've ever been. I'm 38 for another 10 days or something. Another week. I'm almost 39. I'm the best shape I've ever been in.
Here you go, Dubs. There's not much definition. I haven't been working out much this week, so there's not a lot of definition yet. We're working on it though. There you go. That one's a little better.
There you go.
Left-handed?
Yeah, it's no, I'm not actually.
Oh, weird. That's strange.
Yeah, it is weird. And it's funny when I lift too. I find my right arm seems weaker. Like I find that I'm pushing up harder with my left. It's kind of bizarre. You would have thought the opposite.
Try to stop that for like 3 or 5 months and just switch to dumbbells and do the same thing. Because then that way, if one side's overcompensating for the other, you're going to get injured eventually. Because eventually it's going to be way too much for this hand, and you're going to rip a rotator cuff or something. And so everybody else is watching. Like, if you find yourself doing that, like one side is starting to be noticeably stronger than the other, stop immediately and fix that. So start, because you're doing this, like, this arm can't lift this dumbbell for you. You have to, strengthen it. And,
well, we have that natural thing and especially in Western society where we have a dominant arm as opposed to like
you're always going to be a little one side's always going to be a little stronger, but it shouldn't be significantly stronger, because you're at risk of injury.
Well, it might be the chores that you're doing that's actually making the difference. I don't know if you use your left arm more.
What are you doing with your left?
Or something like that?
Do you like frequently masturbate with your left arm? Like, why is that one so much?
No, I'm not really sure. In fact, tonight is actually the first time that I noticed that one is considerily more defined than.
I don't think it's massively different.
I think it's the tricep actually.
Lights.
If you hold it up again, I think it's the tricep.
You'll notice it's easier to notice, like when you're saying barbell stuff or like any machine where it's just kind of single point, like both hands are on it. And you can't like, you'll notice like one side seems to be doing more work.
Are all your tricep exercises two-handed?
No, I do.
You'll find that if all you're doing is rope pulls and you're compensating with your dominant arm all the time, I don't know.
Yeah, try to do as many like one. I do one hand and then the other.
Yeah, one hand and stuff. Yeah, would be good for that for sure. Yeah.
Jen Steen says, "Fuck you, Batman, and Fairy is gay." Thanks, Jen Steen.
Fairy's not even here to defend himself, poor guy. Yeah, it's like you said though, like you Jeremy, you said you're 38 and you're the fittest you've been. I'm the same. Like I'm turned 40 this past November. Easily the healthiest I've ever been in my life. I started, it was January 1st of 2024. And I'm, every now and then I'll grab a weighted vest or something and just like, I'll throw 100 pounds on just and walk up some stairs or something. Yeah. And I just like,
probably
I have no idea how I did.
4 or 5 years ago, you probably the thought of doing that would have been like, that's impossible. I'll never do that.
Oh, for sure.
I'm going to die 400 pounds.
I've ever been.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I'm
Like,
the
so many
old.
people are trapped in that, and I frequently fat shame people since the army. It's always just offended me. It's always just pissed me off because I know how
Yeah.
unhealthy it is and expensive it is for the country. I mean, the
Mhm.
number 1 or 2 reason for hospital visits is because people are fat. You've got heart disease, you've got diabetes, you've got all these problems. You're just lazy and fat, so that's costing us a lot of money, and you're dying. And apparently, everyone wants to act like it's fine. Like, oh no, big is beautiful and be body positive. I'm like, oh, okay, be heroin positive, be meth positive, be drug positive.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about? He's addicted to sugar, just the same as you'd be addicted to cigarettes or heroin or anything else, and he will die as well as the same as you being addicted to those. So why, you're calling me the bad guy? I'm the only one concerned about their well-being. I'm the only one pointing it out, and you're just encouraging it. So you hate these people more than anything.
Yeah.
You want them
There's
to die, I guess.
another one there. Misfit has been seriously getting in shape too.
Yes, he has.
He
Yeah.
was when I met him, he was in pretty good shape. Yeah, looked like it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Big difference.
But I was into this for years. It's like you just want to, men especially, you want to be bigger. Fucking, it looks good in pictures, but it doesn't do that much. It's really
functional.
not. Yeah, it's better to be 160 pounds and ripped than 195 pounds and like, look at my useless muscle. I can't really.
Yeah.
I can lift gym stuff real good, but it doesn't help you
That's
fight.
about
It
it.
doesn't help you survive. It's actually a detriment. And I'll tell you this too. In the SF units and stuff, there's not like huge guys. It's not like in movies and shit. They're all like lean. They look like hockey players. They look like anything.
Yeah.
180 pounds, 6 feet tall, kind of just because you're out there. You could be out there for weeks living on God knows what. If you imagine being 245 pounds, where are you getting your 5,000 calories a day now? You're gonna be fucked,
dude.
How are you gonna feed that machine? So there was like normally. Some guys would. Some guys are. There are some big boys in there, but it's
Have you seen how big
there was
Devin
a
Larad
famous-
is right now?
Well, that's what I mean. He's just a giant freak. He's always been.
He's
when he was in the
he's been packing on. He's the heaviest he's ever been right now, and like
I saw
I've been
pictures.
watching it. He
You can
looks
never. I
ridiculous.
never know which version of Devin it is I'm going to see.
Right?
Giant Devin? Is it mean killer Devin? Is it long haired psycho? I don't know. Every time I see him,
But he always has the grin. He always has that grin that just makes you laugh.
Yeah, dude.
It's
Yeah,
important
he's
to
got
see.
the giant Wolverine chops, and like he's just big. Like,
But
it's
he's
the
a
biggest
freak.
I've ever seen him.
And I mean that in a positive way. Like he's just
Oh, yeah.
unnaturally. Like he's just one of those guys that's just like he can do everything. He's just a machine. But most guys aren't like that. Like the average guy, they're like 5'10", 180 pounds, 170 pounds.
Well, he's been training with what's his name there, Brian Shaw. They like an absolute freak. Brian Shaw is an absolute freak.
Like a famous case of it was in the Gulf War in the early like 91, and there was an SAS team that was compromised. There's a book about it called 22 Bravo, I think, something like that. An SAS team. So they're like tier 1, top of the line guys. And they got compromised, and they had to basically run for days to escape Iraq because they're being chased by the Iraqi, like 4 of them versus the Iraqi army for days, and they're just huffing it like nonsense. Is that a good place to be 240 pounds? Look how fucking huge. You're dead. You're dead. You're not hauling ass for 6 fucking days, living on what? Water and fucking protein bars? You're gonna fucking crash after a day. You have no energy to go anywhere, and they're gonna have to leave you there. I guess I'm the delaying force now because I'm too. You need to be, it's just, it looks good. It's good pro wrestling and shit like that. Like for short, like just smashing things, it's great. But if that's your career or if that's of interest for some reason, that's what you need to do, then do that. But I mean, for me and for most 99% of men, it's like that's not really worth. It's not going to help anything, and it's not good for you because just like Chris being 330 pounds, if I was, and I have been, I was up to 205 is the biggest I got, and I was like, this is getting stupid. I just look, I look ridiculous. I look like one of those guys, a meathead. I was like, you look retarded. But that's the same as being 205 pounds of us fat. Your heart still has to support this and like under the weight and feed oxygen to all this extra mass. It's still doing it. Maybe worse because your muscles are much denser than fat is. So it's something to think about. Extra weight is on your heart, man, and it is what it is.
Well, they all say too much muscle means you just can't go as long, right? You can pack it on. Frank Mir was having that problem because he had the Brock Lesnar complex after losing to him. He had to come
Depends
back,
on
and
what.
you saw him, and he was just massive. And it's like you can't move like that. Like,
but Lesnar is also a freak. It's like one of those it's like an abnormality. Like something went sideways in the genetic process, and he got like a 25% buff to all stats. You're like, what the fuck? Like, that's not fair.
How do I get that?
I don't know. Like he can run like 100 meters in like fucking a stupid amount of time. He's massive. He can jump out of a pool and stand on the deck. Like, what? You should not be able to do these things at this size, but he can. He's doing backflips. Like, you're almost 300 pounds and you're doing backflips. This is unheard of. Like, unheard of. Brock Lesnar is one of the most freakishly natural athletes ever. Like, yeah, he's probably on lots of juice and stuff also. But but there's tons of guys that are and can't do anything close to what he can do. Yeah. So he's just amplified what he was already able to do, which was inhuman. So, and he was huge. He might not be. He was huge when he was like 14. He was like 6'2". Like, he was a freak.
Oh yeah, when he was
wrestling
throwing
in like the NCAA.
Yeah, he was trashing people. He just looked like an absolute monster back then.
He looked like a 35-year-old man. He's like 16.
Yeah, it was.
He's just one of those.
Something to behold.
Freaks, Yeah. If you're a freak, you're a freak, and these rules don't apply to you. There's always
you just live it.
Yeah, it's what else we used to say in the army. There's no such thing as 100% solution. Because I'm like, I thought the drill was we got to do this when you fucking cross that. You go, yeah, 99 times out of 100, that's what you do. But this time, because freak show, you got to do the thing you're not ever supposed to do. But in this situation, it makes sense. And there's always outliers. There's always things that don't fit the box. But if you're just trying to make everything perfect, nothing ever gets done because there's no such thing as anything perfect anywhere, especially if it's man-made. So if you're looking for perfect, you're just going to be there forever spinning your wheel. You're not getting anything done. So it's like 96 is 96. Next task. Let's go. 91. That's not as good, but that's pretty good. Let's go. Next. Just keep going. It's like the shoot for the moon, land with the stars, crap. Set like an impossible standard, like perfect. Try to be perfect. And when you fail, go, I'll try again next time. I'll try again next time. But you just don't keep repeat because it's impossible. You don't. Maybe you a fluke, like a perfect baseball. You pitched a perfect game. It does happen. But the people that do achieve those insanely, like, how did you? They were trying to be perfect every single fucking time, like really hard. They weren't just, I'll put a little bit of an effort in. They're like, no mistakes ever. And then one time out of 10,000 attempts, he did make through a perfect game or did a perfect whatever.
Terry Boulay said the same thing. Notable exception. Brock Lesnar can bench a car and outrun one. Yeah, he's a freak. And Bass in the Grass says Hulk Hogan brothers. Yeah, there's freaks out there. Like, could you imagine all the people that were playing professional sports were actually in the
most
American
of them
Army?
Are white guys too, by the way. Like the world powerlifting records and
strong guys,
for whatever reason, they're all just big, giant Icelandic guys.
Yeah,
I didn't inherit that. 5'9" and 175. That's it. What I got. Yeah. I'm gonna try and fight at 160. I think I'll stay. I've been holding steady at 175 for a couple of weeks, so I think the cutting is finished. I'm unwilling to get any smaller than this. I will not do it. And if you have to cut for a fight, what's 15 pounds? That's water.
What would be your timeline for that? When would you want to book one? Like, how far out would you want to book one?
Amateur or professional?
What do you want to do?
Both.
Oh,
yeah, I'm doing it. They had a guy come in at 40 and he got 3 pro fights in. So it can be done. But he was also a professional athlete, basketball player.
Yeah,
but
you could.
I didn't play pro sports. And I know people are fucking. No, I was in some hard places in the army. And to get in there, you had to train 3 times a day. You were a professional athlete. You were doing a fucking 6-month training camp. You're working out 5-6 days a week, 3 times a day. It was horrible. It was brutal. Mm-hmm. So I know all about fucking high level performance because that's what these guys are doing. You go to these camps and you go to these training selections. It's not like, oh, you do 20 push-ups, you run. No, if someone died on one of them, I wouldn't be surprised. Look, Ricky died on fucking JTF2 selection. I'd be like, what happened? His heart explode? They're like, yeah, probably. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, one, I can't even really say because you're not supposed to, but like, I've done a few different ones, but like, for example, before I think we got up at like, they say, all right, we'll come get you at 6:30 in the morning to start your day. That's a lie. They show up at 3 o'clock. Like shit like that happens all the time because that's war also. You plan for this, but never goes the way you plan, adapt and fix it and figure it out. So that's how they operate there. And it's a nightmare. It's very fucking anxiety inducing because every moment is like, what are they going to do?
Is this the time?
every door that opens, you're like, what now? You know, fuck. Every time the phone rings, you're like, oh. I had a roommate that they would call. He was the go-between from the staff to the candidates. And it would just start ringing at like some ungodly hour. And I'd be like, I want to die. I want to die. I'm listening to him on the phone. And he's like, huh? Uh-huh. Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Okay. Click. And I know it's going to be horrible. I'm already no.
Swear words are about to come.
So, you know, it was wild. So, I mean, I can put the work in. I'm doing 3 hours a day. At night at nighttime, but for like 4 or 5 days a week. And I'll do that for a year. I'll try to get as many amateur fights as I can in a year. And then I want to get it by like 40, you know, just to get it in and do it. I also, I'll just fight some loser, some guy from Mexico who's like 3-50. And he's like fighting for a Subway gift card. And I'm like, I'm going to fuck this guy up. And then retire immediately. And then be like, you know, I'm an undefeated professional boxer.
Undefeated.
You got to fight get a Jeet in there to sign a contract.
There you go.
Yeah. I could get it too. I would just talk to the promoter, like, why you? You're a 40-year-old nobody. Why would you? Be like, I can guarantee at least 3,000 pay-per-view buys. He'd be like, you fight on Saturday.
You're in.
I was like, the bottom undercard nobody fight, and you're bringing in that. Okay, fuck yeah, why not? You know, are you sure? You promise? Like, yeah. Here's my sales of over the following things. If I sell, they'll watch. At least half my audience would watch that. I think.
Oh yeah, easy.
Once we get beat up by a Mexican guy, and then people that hate me would want to watch it. Of course.
Yeah.
But your opponent would be a lot better sale too. Like, who could we get as your opponent? And
I tried Chris Guy, and you know, it's over.
That would be great.
He's not answering the phone. He blocked my number.
What a guy.
310 Awareness Memorial Fund says release.
He's too small anyway, actually. He's actually way too small. He's way, way out of my weight class. Like way too. It would probably be illegal. No governing body in the world would sanction that fight because it'd be like, sir, why don't we just let you fight a child?
Too drastic a change.
Yeah, it would be too much.
I think this is towards your episode there, Jer. 310 Awareness Memorial Fund. It's for episode 310. They want fans to deserve transparency.
It's on the hidden disc.
I believe it.
I have to figure this out.
You haven't figured it out.
Well, I have too many of these hotkeys now, and I never remember where anything is. I'll have to spend like hours like training, like so I know exactly where every button is because I used to just have like a list in iTunes, but it was cumbersome and slow. So I was like, I'm just gonna. But now this is harder to do,
dude.
Because there's eight keys, button, 8 different ones, button, 8 different ones, button, 8 different. So and they're not in alphabetical order at all. Like it's just all over the place. So I'm just trying to like Rubik's Cube, Tetris, remember where the fuck everything is on this board, and I'll have an idea. I can't find it. I lose it. It's a nightmare. But,
yeah, it's I can't wait. Everything's going to change once the snow goes. I'm done with this. We're going to get finally a +8 day. I was saying that earlier.
Dude, did you see that Rick Mercer bit I shared from 22 minutes or something from probably like 10 years ago or 20 years ago? It was like, remember this? Like, this wasn't bad. It wasn't like the best comedy ever, but it was like, you know,
you had a lot of those.
Yeah. It was moderate. It was okay. It was passable. It was, I will renew you for another season because there's nobody better really right now. So you might as well.
Yeah.
And it was the whole bit about, it was such a Canadian thing. That's why I loved it. And we're not allowed to have that anymore, probably. It's all fucking gay politics and nonsense now. There couldn't just be funny for the sake of funny. I think people forgot how to do that. And it was a joke about the weather in Canada where it's just February. It's horrible. And then Rick Mercer's on the computer. He's like, honey. And she's like, what? He's like, Friday, it's going to be +1, you know? And they're like, oh. And they're like, here at the Weather Network, we know damn well nobody can predict the weather 5 days out. That's why we always tell you it's going to be +1 just to keep your hopes up and to stop you from killing yourself. And he's like, I knew it was going to be okay. And then the next day, they're like, oh, no, now it says Friday is going to be -34. What does it say on Saturday? And he's like, +1. And then okay. And it just keeps repeating. It's like, we've all done that. We're like, fucking, at least the weekend's going to be okay. It's not. Like, fuck. Well, Wednesday might be all right. It does keep you going. Whoever wrote that That wasn't bad.
Well
That
done.
wasn't bad. You know,
do that again.
I mean, also, who the fuck am I? I'm like a no, you know. Well, also though, wait a minute. We did a fucking 17 stop tour with 9 live performances. I had no script, no act, nothing, and I had to do 2 hours at each fucking place. I'll just figure it out. I'll just wing it, and we put it on video, and it actually went all right.
Yeah.
So fuck you. You know, he's like, I'm a professional fucking hoobly doobly. It's not that hard.
I haven't even seen it yet.
It's not easy, but it's, I mean, relax. All right. You're not training for Dwyer Hill. Just calm down. Calm down, cartoon funny man. This is what I do to relax, okay? This is what
unwinding at the end of the day.
I'm like, I feel better now. It's like exercising my rage. It needs to be worked out, or it gets cranky and it spreads to the organs, and then somebody gets killed.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It'll be a good release too. The movie coming out.
Yeah.
Batman's in it.
Nice. I want to see the whole thing though. I haven't
Chris,
seen the whole thing.
No, not yet.
I thought you might have been in that group. I should put you in there. You can watch
that. The end one that you uploaded, half of it's black. It didn't fully upload.
The end one that I uploaded.
Part 4.
Oh yeah, that's just because I had to cut it up in Adobe.
Oh,
so there was nothing that was all it was. It just there was an extra.
That was the
I had to cut and it had to be at least 35 minutes because Telegram only lets you upload so many gigabytes. So I had to export, and then my internet wasn't working. And I remember telling he's like, I'm going to put my fucking fist through this thing. Everything. Every time Morgan will come in, she'll be like, "What now?" And I'll be like, I just can't even speak anymore because every little thing is like this activity, whatever it is you're doing. Everyone in Canada knows this now. Whatever it is, however long it used to take, however many steps it used to take, however much effort it used to take, it's now 4 to 6 times more of all of those things for really no reason. And it's just stupidity, Indians, laziness, corruption. And you're like, I should just go into the bank and say 2 words, and you go, here you go, and I leave. That's how it used to work. Like, sorry, you need to make an appointment.
Okay. I was fine.
You need to download the app and get an appointment. This is a 3-minute problem, and you're telling me I need a week to get to this.
I gotta take time off work for this.
This is also what destroyed. This is what destroyed the USSR, by the way. People are like, "Oh, it was the Americans." No, it collapsed and imploded because it was fucking dumb and gay. And the government ran everything, and there was rules and regulations and fees and fines, and everything had to be controlled all the time, to the point that eventually no one could do anything. Things that were legal were also illegal. And it was like, so no one just did anything because everyone was so fucking scared of getting in trouble because you're off to the gulag, which was the most extensive prison labor death camp system ever fucking created. But they were our friends in World War II, so let's just skip over that. That's what produced that environment was this exact fucking behavior. So things aren't going to get better. And if you thought, oh man, remember the good old days? It only took you a week to get your license. Now, fuck, 2 years. I got an appointment in 2 more years to get a picture taken at
dude. I couldn't believe it.
Jensine says,
I could not believe it. My kid.
Sorry, I just want to say, Jensine says, "Fuck it." All right. Sorry. I just want to say, fuck edgy, complete hack, fake and gay. Thanks, Jensine. Yeah, it's taken a long time to get my gun license back.
The more Jensine abuses you, the more he likes you. That's how he flirts.
Yeah, it's the
flirting.
You know, it's like hair pulling and stuff. You know,
yeah.
But yeah, the driver's license up here, but they're closing the office up here actually.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
so now
they're closing hospitals, they're closing post offices. I'm like, these are not optional services. But now we're closing it. That's the police station. Well, there's no money, so we gotta holy shit. Like, this place is going.
But you're also not allowed to defend yourself.
You're so negative. I'm like, I'm sorry that I'm an adult.
I have
and
reasons.
Like, critical systems we need to survive are on fire. And you're like, why don't you just chill out, man? And you're 400 pounds and you're sticking shit in your arm. And you're like, my kid's dick got cut off. His name's Sarah now. And I fucking, you know, and also,
what do I do with that?
At the very end of the day, this is one of the most base things I ever read. And it's so true. And it's because of who it came from. I'm like, this is one of the coolest things that probably ever happened in man world ever. These guys are having this intense debate argument. One of the guys just stands up and takes off his fucking shirt and just flexes at the other guy, and the other guy just sits down, and then they just moved on and went with his idea. That was Plato that did that.
I like it.
Is that insane? Like this guy would just dismantle intellectually everybody all the time, but in this particular instance, he's just like, "Fucking look at me and look at you." Yeah. Well, not even. It's just like he's very strong, healthy, virile. He's obviously a capable man, and the other guy was just dweeb. And it's like, why are we listening to him? That's a great point. It was just such a grug way to explain all of that. He's like, I'll just show everybody. Like, look at me. Now look at him. Who the fuck would you rather follow? Like, just make your mind up right now. And he just quietly sat down and everyone, there you go. Everybody's on my side. Let's fucking move on. Like, that's awesome. He should have been king of Greece for that move alone.
Just that.
Like, that's what I'm saying. That's going to happen with Devin Lorette.
Everyone should just went dead silent. Everyone just goes dead silent. And then there's somebody in the back, like edgy, who's just like, yeah. Everybody starts erupting. Like that Homelander scene in The Boys, he just kills a guy and it's dead quiet. Then these super nerds just start they're like super fans of Homelander. They start cheering. And everyone's like, sweet.
That's what next election. It's just a flex off.
Yeah.
So the Awareness Memorial Fund says, join us tomorrow on March 10th for a moment of muteness at 310 for 310 awareness. I'm just going to throw a log on the fire there, guys.
I found it, by the way. I have it on my desktop. I tried to upload it one day, and they're like, what? And because it's too big. So I went to bed and came back. And he's like, oh, it's too big of a file. And I was like, I'll do something else. And I just never bothered ever again. And it drives them crazy. It's like there's nothing special about this stream or episode at all. It was just like all of the other ones. It's a shit show nonsense. There's nothing at all. I think
the lack of it.
I was mute.
The lack of it inspires the conspiracies, though. I love it. Like
it does. What I will
Why
do.
Why won't he upload it? What did he say?
I'm gonna sell a T-shirt. It's gonna have 310, and it's like locked in a cage, and I'm just whipping it and be like, "They'll never find you." And because I was so mad, I muted myself for like 17 minutes, like not like a devastating amount of time. You know, because I can go, obviously, people are watching, I could go for a while without really taking a breath and stuff. And I look down, it's like, it's been a long time. And everyone and I look at the chat and everyone's just like, oh my God, he's still going. They're like having nervous breakdowns. And I'm just like, and then it all clicked at once. Oh, there it is. No, this one I got every time. You know, I'm like, this is hours deep into the stream. And I'm just like coming to this like mega rant. Where I'm like, I'm going to fucking dice these people now or whatever. It was 24 minutes, Jen says, I believe her. So for 24 minutes, I just fucking laid into someone. And I guess we're going to have to upload it for lip readers and forensic pathologists and whatever we need to extrapolate exactly what was said. Because otherwise, it's lost forever in time. I did all of it for nothing. So yeah, I rage deleted the stream. What do you want from me? I'm a human being.
24 minutes. Yeah, I do remember that one.
Brutal. And they're like, oh, this never happens to Stu Peters or like just to me here. I don't have heat, you know. I'm in Canada. I'm in the 57th or 58th poorest state in America. I'm surrounded by Indians. I'm fucking, what do you want from me? This even works at all. You're fucking lucky.
Yeah.
This even is possible at all still, as somehow they fucking tried to murder me. They tried to put me in jail for a decade. I shouldn't be here. Just fucking pulling out. I'm like the Joker.
What a flex, though, that they had to give you your property back. After all this, after all the fucking... Man.
That would have been such a... So we can tell people now because it's not the ending of the movie, but we had an idea for the ending, and it would have lined up.
You could still do it. You could still walk over that.
It's too. and then do the filming and send it. That's going to add weeks alone. And I got to go. I'm going home tomorrow. I got the kids, and we're, I got a week.
Anyways,
with that, so.
what I'm talking about when I say Jeremy's property is they had to return his property, as in everything they tried to put against him as evidence, all of the guns, all of the ammo, all of the everything. After all of this, all of that.
So the ending we were going to do, because I had an appointment to go pick this shit up, like right when these guys were going to be here at the end of the tour. So I was like, perfect. What we'll do is, remember that scene in Goodfellas where they're like, doom, boom, 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 boom.
I think it was,
they're all walking in the suits in kind of like slow motion. It was like, we're going to do that, but carrying all of my guns out of the RCMP station.
Out of the RCMP.
Like this. Like all... Like, and we're like literally wearing suits. It's like shot for shot. It's just this. What movie was it? What did I just say?
Reservoir Dogs. That's it.
Reservoir Dogs. Yeah.
Yeah.
You said I say Goodfellas? I watched something with a Goodfellas clip earlier.
Same idea.
Reservoir Dogs. Yeah, Steve Buscemi.
What a victory! What a victory that is. That's like just
else.
Yeah. Where was that story? Where was that media story? Local veteran beats all charges, totally exonerated, has all of his property returned. RCMP, no comment. No, nobody wanted to make that story, I guess. Weird, right?
That is a fucking great story. No, they need to title it differently. White supremacist terrorist gets all of his guns.
When that song comes on, I fought the law and the law won. I just go, bitch.
Yeah,
I won.
That would have made a great headline, though. White supremacist terrorist gets all of his guns back.
They came after me, and they got blown the fuck out. So
beautiful.
Yeah. The conviction rate is 60%, and I got zero out of 23.
Yeah,
not one. That's abnormal because the average is 60. How does that happen?
Yeah,
maybe remember when I said this is a frame-up job. There's no case. This is crazy. They're just trying to intimidate me into pleading to something. I'm like, no, fuck you. I'll fight you to death.
No, and then
Jeremy. Where's he going to get all the money? Like, you'll watch me. Here, have an actual lawyer. And they're like, you are dead now. You have no chance at all anymore. And like, just melted into. It was like an ice cream, just melted in front of us. Like, well, that was fucking stupid. And then we just walked away. Like, that's it. 3 years of my life. And that was okay. Thanks. Good job.
They probably hoped and assumed that you would just go like sovereign citizen and represent yourself or something. Like they probably didn't expect you to be able to get the funds to get a lawyer. And
I don't think a lot of thinking went into anything because all of these cases were like, what are you doing? The lawyers are just like, what is this? I'm like, I know. I don't know what to tell you. And they're like, are you sure? Yeah, this is incredible. This is crazy. And they're like, this is some of the craziest shit I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
They particularly were not impressed with Nova Scotia. Like, this place is like a Mickey Mouse League. This isn't,
Yeah, it's very sleepy.
Very well. Says, same in Saskatchewan. It was just like the old boys club. It's like there's no rules here. Everyone just does whatever. And you're like, just cowboy shit. And you're like, these guys are from like Toronto and Ottawa. And they're like, this is literally illegal. That's not allowed. What the fuck is even that? And they're trying to like dance around it. It was incredible. And no media, nothing. There was no one around ever.
Yeah, no one who I've told like the full picture story to hasn't left the conversation with their jaw dropped.
Yeah.
At just the stupidity and ridiculousness of both the justice system and the media. Like it's just like nobody who I have explained this all to has walked away without their jaw just like down to the ground and shocked.
I trolled them into destroying themselves. Like they destroyed their credibility in front of everyone that was following the story like day by day. That you know what I mean.
This has happened a bunch of times though. When you think of it, like it happened to I forget their names, but it was like the terror plot. Not only
Toronto
the Via Rail one, but the Toronto 13 is another one. 13. There's the Canada Day pressure cooker bomber.
Yep.
Very similar to that, what they were doing, but like
it's something else. I mean, because you know about all that, but when you see them doing it to you, and you're like, I know for a fact that's a lie. They're just making shit up.
Like you're making shit up. Weebo Ludwig is another one.
I don't want to say I couldn't believe
he was
it.
guilty of some shit.
I was just like, the balls on you.
Mhm.
Like you
when you know 100% that they are lying,
mm-hmm.
and especially when it's like in a court, like, and like that thing that you just said did not happen.
Yeah,
And
and
like it's
they're
amazing.
These cops and these people are being cross-examined, and they're just getting devastated.
No,
And I'm
like
just
it's
like,
nothing. Yeah.
look at you fucking wow, just no honor whatsoever, like none. Not one of them went like, I fucking whoops, I'm sorry. It was all just like, that didn't happen. Nope, I don't remember. It wasn't there. I failed to recall. Like, I just don't know anything about anything. Apparently, nobody anywhere knows anything. Like, really, that's crazy. You know, like, oh, actually, we found evidence in the middle of the trial. Like, oh, look, evidence appeared out of nowhere. And you're like, that was printed today. Like, yeah, I just found it. Like, I'm sure you did. I'm sure. And they let it in. You're like, that's not real. He made that up last night. Because we questioned him on it yesterday. He got him humiliated and embarrassed. And then he went and invented this fucking, it was shit like, dude, it could have been a TV show. Me and Morgan were like, this is bananas.
I wish it was. I wish it was fucking filmed or like put on CBC.
Well,
would have made for good TV.
There's court transcripts. Somebody wants to go dig into that. It's very fun. It's very wild. You'll see some wild stuff. The fucking Strang threatening my lawyer. You're asking the wrong kinds of questions. Don't you know who I am? Like, he lost his mind. It was wild.
I wish I could have seen that.
The hero of Nova Scotia was like, gotcha. Look, you're just as much of a piece of shit as I thought you were. Look at you. Yeah. You just can't stand you. How dare you? Don't you know who I am? That might as well have been his whole. It's just, he just oozed it. You know, he came in the fucking security. He didn't have to go through security. He was too important. Right? He just let him in. He could have had a gun on him. They just let him in.
Yeah.
Cool. You didn't do that. I got to get patted every time. Every time. In, out, shoes off, the whole thing. Every fucking time. He just, you doesn't have to. Oh, yeah. And like, hey, you see this email where you're like, just this week, 11 people have died after taking the COVID shot. He goes, concerning. Now, at the end, he acknowledges dead people and goes, that's not good. And then just continues, whatever.
Move on.
That's your hero, Nova Scotia. You know what I mean? Like, and it was just so fucked, the whole thing. But again, to watch how corrupt the justice system can be and see it happen to people is like, it's like war or something. Like, you can build as accurate of an imagination as you can, but once you're in that situation, it's like, there's no way to prepare for that. You're just like, kind of blown, like your hair's blown back a little bit. You're just like, that they would, like, my mind would just be like, aren't you afraid you're going to get caught?
Yeah. Like, they're not. They're not.
You know, like that is the craziest part to me, that they all were just so brazen about it that it was like, fucking, what are they going to do about it? Yeah. And we tried to do some shit about it, and it just extended it. The wheels were spinning, the flailing, the shit that it was, and it got kicked upstairs to like higher courts. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, everything's fine. Nothing to see here. Like, sure. Huh. Uh-huh. Because maintaining the appearance of the integrity of the justice system is like one of its core fucking tenets. Yep. Like, they convict people who shouldn't be convicted because they're like, well, if we don't, we'll look weak and we can't have that.
Look bad. Yep.
Yeah, that's an actual fucking thing. There's a legal phrase for it, but they'll be like, yeah, well, even though they're not supposed to do that, and this is horrible, it's like we can't allow this because then people will think that we're terrible. But you are terrible. Like, yeah, we're not allowed to let them know that. Oh, well, that's a fucking nice rule to have.
Same with the lenient sentences on migrants and immigrants.
Yeah.
Just so that they don't look bad, they don't get fucking deported.
They're literally not allowed to tell you how fucked up it is because it would make them look. That's like a law of some kind. It's like a rule. Like, nope, it would make us look bad, so we can't do it. Like, imagine that job where it's like everything I do is amazing all the time, and if it's not,
it just didn't happen.
Nope. I know I pressed the special boy rule. Nope, everything's amazing. I'm amazing all the time. I'm literally incapable of error.
One of my favorite parts, and one of my favorite memories.
It must be God. They're incapable of error.
Put it in one of your books too. Is the fact that they put you in jail, and then they changed the law before you went and saw a judge.
In 15 minutes, they did. Yeah,
dude, this was awesome.
Introduced a law because of Morgan and I, passed it, and then became within 15 minutes.
Dude,
while we were still in solitary confinement for days and days and days, by the way, for no reason, just because.
This is awesome. Like, that's the biggest part of the story that people gloss over, I think. Like,
yeah, it's they've done the Nova Scotia government is insanely corrupt. Like, it's wild.
Nuts.
Oh, and by the way, there is a fun annex or epilogue to that story. I've since learned like maybe up to 15 people were fired from the DOJ at the conclusion of our case. May or may not be related. Fired or were reassigned or moved elsewhere. Like a serious house cleaning took place, in other words, of senior people, judges, and like. So I was like, that's interesting. Probably a coincidence.
Probably. All these coincidences everywhere.
Probably. Because they were guilty as shit. Everybody knew it. And they were just trying to hide. And then it was like, because they can't be seen to look bad. So like, fuck, nope, nothing to see here. Go away. And then they turned around, slammed the door, and went, "You fucking idiots. You're all fucking fired." You know, something like that happened. So that was funny.
But they like to clean
some
house
people
with
lost
those
their
people
jobs
a lot of time anyway.
Yep. 2 prosecutors. We got 2. 2 of them no longer work at the places they were. They have much. They didn't get promoted. I'll tell you that.
Zaniel says RCMP gives guns to alleged terrorists. Yeah, that was a little while ago. And Miss Speaker says, "Fair, we know you're here somewhere." Yeah, you're probably watching. Trying to work on his traps.
Yep. He's getting big.
You got a cobra out. It completes the fucking. If you have flat shoulders, it's no good. You got a cobra. You gotta have it.
The cobra. Oh yeah, cobra.
Yeah.
I had an edible
you're right.
here. I'm on vacation.
You're right. You're right though about that +1 feeling, because like +8. +8, it's like, oh man, I can't fucking wait for that. That's gonna be a
What?
Yeah, we had it. Well, you would have too in Nova Scotia, I'm sure. We had it like 2 or 3 days ago. I guess it was probably 3 or 4 days ago now.
We attract
was
like
nice.
the wildest fucking people, man. Like, how many legit crazy people have we met now?
Oh,
like in normal living,
think.
in your normal life, you may encounter, I would guess, 1 or 2 in your entire life. Like, legitimately, they are out of their mind people. We're dozens now. Dozens.
Yeah, we definitely magnetize.
Oh
Can you imagine how like
sometimes I look over at the chat and I'm like, that's why I only read the paid ones, because that's a fucking war zone. It's a
war zone.
That is the Picto Tavern at Saturday at 1
There's a
o'clock.
whole thing happening over there right now.
You just don't like. If you want to get in, you want to have a bet, you want to fight somebody, then go there. If you want to have somebody bottle you for no reason, go there. I guess if that's what you're into, but if you're not, don't go there, because look at it.
Just don't.
Look at it. Look at it from a distance. Don't sign in. Don't log in. Just look at it and go, wow. Yeah, you don't need any part of that. Just send us money. It's
unfortunate, but you have to do
entertained.
Like, entropy you could look at and kind of, there's the regulars are on entropy.
Those are the better.
Those are the where you go hang out with your regulars at the bar.
There was a guy in New York. I was there years ago, and I was in Central Park, and there was a guy doing like some kind of street performance, like buskering. And it was like, you don't have to pay; it's free. But if you want, it's there. Like kind of what I do. It's just how it works. It's free. It's been 6 years now, and it's there. And he does his thing, and like nobody gave him any money, and he fucking lost his mind. And he just started. I thought he was going to start hitting people. He was this black dude with no shirt. He was a strong looking guy,
awesome.
And he was not. And he was like basically shaking people down.
You were
because he done this
now. You would pay me.
Like, he did some kind of like a long like aerobic fucking. He's doing backflips and shit. I don't know. He's doing something wild. I came in towards the tail end of it, and I was like, "What's going on over here?" And then it was over, and he like looked in the thing, and there's like $1 in it, and he was like, "There's like 60 people watching him," and he's like, "Oh, not one of you's got $5 apparently. I just broke my goddamn neck, and you're like, fucking nope, I don't even have $1 $1." And he's like, getting in their face, and I was like, with my girlfriend at the time, we gotta get out of here. It's like, why? What's going on? There's a shirtless black guy over there losing his shit. We gotta go before somebody gets killed. I don't know what happened. I did the responsible thing, and I went. Angry black man,
That's
no
a
shirt.
threat.
Abort.
Let's get out of here.
Abort. Get out of there. There will be more. There's always more coming. Just get out of there. There will be others. It's New York.
Billy Deluxe. Thanks, man. It's good to see you. He says he can't wait for spring so you can get out on the Harley and find some more bigots.
I'm selling mine.
It's that's a tough go. I do not want that. That's old Canada that used to be able to enjoy long Harley rides. Dude,
But
one
part of being
sleepy
a grown-up.
Jeep behind the wheel of an 18-wheeler is just
Literally our roads, like there are some potholes in Halifax that I hit in my truck that if I was on my bike, I would be dead.
Right.
Because they're like a foot deep and 2 feet wide, and it's like not even an easy, like, oh, that was a weird little hole. It's like you have to swerve into the other fucking lane. And I'm like, that's like, unless if you know it's there, you can slow right down and whatever. But if you hit that going 50, 60, you're done. It's gonna rip the front end of but you're gonna fly, you're gonna go through the rear windshield, whoever's in front of you. So like that, and that's everywhere. That's just the roads are like, I'm not ever driving anything smaller than an SUV ever again. Not in Nova Scotia. Are you fucking out of your mind? So there's just holes everywhere. A great part, let me tell you about what we've done to the roads in Nova Scotia. I don't know if PEI is the same.
Oh, it is.
But we've done a great new experimental thing here in Nova Scotia because we're obsessed with the environment and making everything green. So we got real weird with asphalt and paving our roads. It's now made of a substance that is not up to the task, as it were, and 2 large trenches are forming on either side, right where the tires would go, all along the highway. And guess what happens when it rains? Those little trenches of water become rivers of death that if you hit, you will astroplane and fucking die. So everybody's driving 50 on the highway now because that's how dangerous it is when it rains.
You know what you do?
I'm selling my bike because it's that and Jeets and you're gonna die. So
now you go out there with a shovel, 2 bags of topsoil, and a couple of plants. And you fill in the potholes with like just trees that are just there all of a sudden. Now they have to do something.
I got the bike because I was like, well, that's cool. And I was afraid of them. I've never ridden one. So I just went out and did the test and then bought a fucking Fat Boy and rode it home, white knuckle, didn't die. That was cool. But that was before literally all of this, before I did anything. And now I'm like, I can easily get rid of that, and I won't even lose 2% of cool power. Like that's nothing now. Who cares? A motorcycle? Fuck you.
Yeah.
I beat Trudeau. Fuck you. I don't need a motorcycle.
Well,
that's my motorcycle.
I would love to still have mine. I really don't feel safe going on the roads.
We are literally the reason he's gone. I told you we would destroy him. Do you know why? Let me explain. When did like the terminal bleeding begin? When was the wound that was like he never recovered from that? It's over. It just went.
When?
Envoy, wasn't it? Emergencies Act. There was no coming after that. The knives came out, and it never stopped. And the scandals, and it just never stopped. You see, he pissed off too many people, and that was it. It was the end of them. Why did the Emergency Act happen?
Because the scary stripey people.
That was us, right? Mm-hmm. That was us because we trolled them into hysteria and they destroyed themselves. Yeah. They shot themselves in the belly and went, and crawled away in the woods, and they have now died. Congratulations. So I didn't know if you guys knew that, but it's not Mark Carney Day. It's
we did it.
Giant fucking Diagolon W. Yeah, if you're big enough arms, you can do the W.
Put up your W's.
Be warned, Mark Carney. If you dispute, we'll come for you next.
Hellbilly says he's got 7,000 kilometers my first season on the Harley and had a bad situation because of Jeets, but won't stop for me for 2 wheels. No, they won't stop. Dude, you're not safe. You're better off to buy like a Mad Max style tank.
There you go.
You know, like an APC.
They admitted it in the National Post even.
Yeah.
Like that was the kicker for me. When they're like, they cornered Mendocino and went, what is this group? What are you talking about? You mean these Diagolon people? He said, yes, that's the one. That's why we call the Emergency Act. I'm like,
they're the problem.
Incredible. And since then, they've mentioned us like 15 times. There's a whole highlight reel of it.
Dude, it's part of my intro. His voice is in my...
The Prime Minister, like 3 different times, he's like, goddamn Diagolon. Like...
Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
It's so ridiculous.
We mocked him into oblivion. We just proved it. Trolling is more powerful than government influence over time.
Yeah.
It's a toxic
Without a
poison
doubt.
that once it gets on you, you think you're okay, but you're not okay. It's too late. You don't understand. Philip's already burped on you. You're dead. You'll get away. You'll get in your car. You'll drive home. There'll be days later.
Yep.
Like, I feel fine. I'm like, but you're not fine. You know, about 7 days in, you're going to be like, is my hair starting to thin? And that's when you're going to start noticing, and it's never going to get any better. And it's bad. It's ugly. It's really nasty. Did you see what happened to Trudeau? Do you want that to be you? Watch it.
Yeah.
Toledo
Who do we
says,
target next?
Thanks for the sanity check and the entertainment. Great guests. Thank you. And Scotian gentleman says, just with 310 and potholes near Jeremy's house, uses tactics against him. Just write 310 and potholes. Get him to fix them. No, I'm telling you, plant trees. Just go around and like relocate, put bags of soil, put trees in there, and people put them on Instagram.
I like I don't know if it was you, Jeremy, or if it was Morgan. One of you guys said just to paint Diagolon flags on all the potholes.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes.
They'll fix that
Because
away.
They show up immediately to fix that. It goes in the local news every time, and RCMP are investigating. And it's like someone spray painted a black square and then took white paint and went and ran away. And you're like, we need more cops. Like, we must out of your fucking mind. And everyone
remember the
knows
emergency team? The emergency team they sent out to fucking clean it, to fucking on the rocks and shit. Like, it made national news.
Everyone sees this because they put it in the newspaper. They're like, we did it. We're keeping people safe. And every sane person goes, what the fuck are you doing with my money, man?
What's a Diagolon?
Like, do your fucking job. No one cares about spray paint on a rock, man. It's insane. It's so easy to do. And they're like, they think they're in this like war against the devil, and I'm just like, it's like a kid with a stick poking a bug. I'm like, this is incredible. This is wild.
Really was, dude. I remember like them tweeting about us multiple times, and even when we were just quiet, we were quiet for a while. There's nothing going on, and all of a sudden they just decided, hey, let's bring up Diagolon again.
There's something about
the story that keeps on giving, man.
I've where did I hear this recently? One of the other things I study, you call it that, at night recently is a lot of like the spirituality stuff, different cultures and people. Like, what do you think's going on? Well, what do you think's going on? You know, like South American, Colombian, prehistorical, like for that, like everything. And like a lot of them have similar ideas about certain things. And one of them is that like the good energy of the universe or like God or whatever, you know, is very almost childlike, like goofy, and fucks with you and does silly things, and like that's like absurd things. Like that's hilarious. What is like? It's just funny if you have like the right sense of humor, and like that's that
Loki.
So kind
Loki,
of right, like this kind of trickstery, like haha, but like in a friendly, like benevolent way. Like you're trying to do something good. It's not like trying to hurt you, but it's like. Might slap you around a little bit, but you're like, do you get
is
it?
that like me
like, I get it. That's actually kind of funny now that
I moved out of the city right to the edge, and I got to live there in peace for a couple of years, and then they moved into Jeet Hive just down the street.
Yeah, it's like if your dad, if you had a dad who was also a troll and just fucked with you all the time. You know what I mean? But he's doing it in a way to try to help you and teach you things. But you're like, you know, it's like, I didn't put my shit away, and then you come in your room, it's all glued to the ceiling. You're like, what the hell? And you're like, that was my fault because he said. And then there's just like this goblin you're living with. It's like, it's funny. So and the opposite is like the very serious, dark, like we gotta fucking kill them all. Like that's no good. That's the bad guy stuff. If you get into that mode, you're gonna start going to some dark places and doing crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Like the more you can be like that and live your life, there's some kind of sort of power in this. I've always felt like there's some kind of life to that, kind of energy. And like we just goofed our way around the whole time, and nothing worked. Nothing stuck because we were just too silly. Like we like I don't know how to explain it, but it was like because they're like we gotta stop them. They're terrorists, and then people go look at it and they're like, look what he has in his head. What is he doing?
It's like my kids will often joke, like I'll playing with with the dog or with the cat or something, making silly noises with it. And my son, who is, he's 16 years old and he's a smart ass, and he'll walk by and he'll say, "There's the terrorist, folks," as I'm like saying, "Who you boo" to the cat or something.
You remember this? I don't know if I I've told it a few times where
There's so many
was
hilarious.
close to McGill University, and she had two different teachers. One that was sympathetic to the plight of the convoy and knew who I was, and the other one that actually had our faces up on the screen, and she just had to sit there quiet, and her friend looked at her like, "That's your dad."
You told me that story.
Fuck. She has to remember that forever.
Mine are still too young, but it's gonna be like, yeah, a lot went on. It was a crazy time. Daddy was at war with the government. It's complicated, you know. There's a lot of inside baseball. You gotta understand first.
Oh yeah, that's where the uncles.
It was
that's where your uncles come in.
It's okay. Huh?
Like that's where your uncles are supposed to come in and say, "Did you know this about your dad? Did you know this?" Well, let me tell you a story.
I only have a sister, so
yeah, but you have plenty of people that would treat your kids with that sort of uncle respect. There is. I would tell them all kinds of stories.
Yeah.
I hope so. That makes me happy. I hope so.
But I also get left with Pat's kids. It's funny.
See, none of us are escaping,
Yeah. Get them learn what a bomba clot.
We're all stuck with everybody's kids anyway at the end of the day. So it's like, listen, we gotta fucking go to work because fucking kids everywhere, and if you're dead, then I'm gonna have to look after them. And then like, fuck, come on, let's go.
Yep.
Right. Vice versa. And there's already a lot of them, so we need, we can't be losing people. This is bad. No manpower.
Hellbilly Deluxe says, met many dags on the Harley and will announce when I'm in area to meet more. Yeah, man, do it. Come by here. Help build.
So weird. Remember we were joking around about how imagine you'll go to a different place in the country and just see one of these fucking shirts or stickers somewhere. Like one. Like that's wild, How did this reach Manitoba or something, right?
People set up a flag knowing we were gonna see it at the halfway point.
That was cool.
That's funny.
Like, yeah, that was a lot went on. Like, this house is built by dags because of the dag community.
Like, just for comparison, like that absolutely annihilated any of Rebels tours, like obliterated.
Well, they were hurting during the Tommy tour. Like we were, shattered it.
Tommy Robinson sold 60 tickets in Edmonton.
Yeah.
We sold we didn't have any more. I think it was like 250 something. It was full. It was as many as we could fit. It's the biggest theater we can get. It's like that or a stadium. That's the thing. There's like nightclubs that have like 100, 150, and you can't really. It's not a lot. Like there's more people than that. Shit. Right. So we need something bigger than that. And then it's like you got community halls and big theaters, and then after that, it's like we give you the fucking Rogers Stadium. Like I'm not. Yeah. Like there's very few options about So
there's a few still that people don't think of. There's venues still.
One of them was in a hockey rink. That at first I was like, what the fuck? And then now I'm looking back on it, like that might have been one of the cooler ones. I liked how different it was.
Oh yeah, that one was nice. Like I didn't wear a suit for that one. It was just kind of chill and like
that was casual.
Came by, did a drive by.
They did. And hi, there's the Hells Angels. Oh, great. Are those friends of yours, Phil? Are they dropping something off for you? Probably.
That's right. And Phil was there. Phil the goat. And
Phil was there in person in Kamloops. We had him in a net post. We couldn't get anybody. But then CRJ took him away and they did something. I don't know what happened.
The scenery around there too was incredible, and being an outside event. The one in BC too. The outside, it was like a outdoor concert hall or something. The one on the island was good too. But beautiful scenery, man. Like
it was a lot of fun. I'm glad we did that. How many people get to do that?
We were kind of pissed off that we drove all the way to Tofino, but at the same time, that was such an experience. All the water holes.
We had to though. It's like no. I was on a mission. I was like, I'm going to the Pacific Ocean.
How could you not?
There's some right there. No. Vancouver's not enough. I got to get to the island. What? No, all the way to the. You don't understand. It has to be at the end.
We literally did take the road as far as it goes to the end, and then we kind of worked around and back.
It would sincerely have bothered me if we went to Vancouver Island and back and didn't go all the way to Tofino, because I would always know I didn't go all the way.
Didn't quite get to the end.
It would bug me. I would have to point where I would always have this like annoying. So it's like, we gotta go there. I knew I was gonna hate it there, but it was like it has to be done. And I was like, I'm not surprised at all. We walked around all day. We're like, Jesus Christ, this place is insanely. This is it's a commune of hippies, and everything's $1 million for no reason. It's not.
They're
good.
all Australian.
There's a bunch of Australians
and mix, and like, yeah,
it was weird.
So I said, fucking immigrants stealing our jobs.
It's a very surfer bro town, and all. There's no men. If any of the women are like, should we go? Nah, no, don't go there.
It's pretty gay.
It's very fuckboy town. Like, you don't go there. Just cross that one right off. Just never go there. There's no reason.
It was a cool scenery when you would stand in Tofino and look out onto the bay, and you see the different docks and like the planes landing on the water and the different ships, people doing different things. It's kind of cool.
We should bulldoze all of that and build Philip's Castle on the ruins. That's where it should be. That's where it should be.
Perfect.
That's where his lair will be.
Claim the waters inside there.
Like the Canadian eagle's nest. It's not up in the Rockies where you'd think. It's right there on the tip of an island. It's this giant, it's like imposing castle where Tofino used to be. And we don't, here's the thing. We don't clean up the wreckage. Never leave it.
That way the enemies always see it.
No, but nothing is bare. Everyone's just left there, just ruins and foundations. Like, why didn't they clean it up? It's like, because we want you to know what we're capable of doing. Don't fuck with me, Like, okay, Jesus, really lives in a castle. They're fucking out of their mind. He talks to a goat figurine. I think that should have been obvious.
That should have been clear years ago, folks.
Did you guys see that? Speaking of castles, did you see that one guy that used to work for the CIA? He built like an $80 million castle that's self-sufficient and works off its own like reserves and like, it's something else.
I didn't see this.
Full security. It's massive. Yeah, I'll have to pull it up.
That is a steal. Like some of these legitimate castles, I don't want to tell people about it because some people are going to buy them, and then that's less castles for me to potentially buy in the future.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably not
going like hotcakes in England. Like England just let their fucking castles go down.
I would have thought a castle, not like a falling apart ruin. I mean, like a fairly functional, you could live in it right now. Castle would be like $30 million, I would think, just in raw material, the history, the construct, the whole, it's like $1 million.
$1 million, you can get a castle.
700,000 for a castle.
Yeah,
you can live in right now. It's like,
do it.
Or you could get a shanty in Toronto.
Yes, that's
you could get a castle in Ireland or Scotland or England or Spain or where, and it's like, or you could live in a tent in Toronto for the same amount of money. Live in a tent outside the Rogers Center, or live in a castle in Ireland, and people are like, I love Canada. Like you're fucking don't even.
Zaniel says next time come visit the Georgia Straits. You know what? I wanted to go to that town where the goats walk on the roofs. That's where I wanted to go.
Where's that at?
I don't know. They gave us stickers, if you remember. Stickers of their town where it's a goat on the roof.
Whoa.
Yeah, we never made it.
They ever jump on people?
The goat?
I feel like they
goats do. Probably.
I feel like they try to missile kick somebody from the top of a building and kill them. And they would just do that crazy sideways kick jump as it runs away laughing at you.
Yes.
And you're like, it just killed a guy.
Head first from up there, like a gore, like fucking Goldberg, to like hit you with the horns.
I think they jump forward and then they do this weird midair thing and then extend the back legs and fucking kick your chest right in. They would look like that probably.
Mm-hmm.
You're like getting kicked by a horse because they're going like 20 miles an hour.
Oh yeah.
That's if they're top heavy.
They're hitting that roof with speed and torque,
agility,
goat torque.
You're falling. You're not getting out.
You know what he's doing on that roof? He's coiling up. That's what's going on. You stay away. You ever see a goat on the roof of a building? You stay the fuck away from that building. He's waiting on you.
Speaking of goats, you know what's something I learned? A 6-foot fence is useless when 4 feet of snow drops.
Yeah. Yeah.
A 6-foot fence. I want at least a 10-foot fence.
Didn't think of it.
A stone wall with a rampart. And a gate tower house and everything. I want to construct a 15th century Fort and Bailey is what I want to do. I'm going to move 50 or so people in it, and we will just basically be like, well, let's see what happens. Because
well, that's what
I don't know. I don't like it out there with
I
you.
told people that we have to go back to our history. It's all about building forts. We built forts when we got here. We built snow forts, couch forts, tree forts. I've never stopped. This is still my fort in the woods. Like, we never stopped making forts. We just have to
My
make
kids and
better
I
forts.
built a fort in my woods. Like, it's just, you got to do it. It's just what we do.
We could actually do that though. That's the hilarious part. Some other guys and groups are looking into it, like different areas. Like,
once I think
let's combine resources, because this is fucking. We might as well. We'd all be better off.
You got a fortress up. What do you think? They did it right in the center of Mississauga, both at Darien Dixie and at Morningstar Drive on Airport Road. They bought schools and turned them into community temples.
Like, does anyone know why cities became a thing in the first place?
Well, yeah,
because
so you fortify them.
The more people there are working together, the more efficient everything gets, and the richer and better and faster, like, everything improves much faster. Like, would you rather have 10 people working on your little project or 1,000? So they're all trading with each other, and it's just like it serves them. It's working better for everybody. But that's not the case anymore. Now it's just all the money, everything's just being sucked out of it. Everybody's on their own, so everything's falling apart. Nobody's working together. So, like, it doesn't even. It's going to die. They're going to die because the reason they exist no longer exists. So it used to be a good thing, because you'd go there and you'd be in basically a central area where all your other people are. That you're like, yeah, we're all essentially looking out for each other and working on the same shit and just trying to get through life together, like you would. They all had their own banners in town. Like, it was. You would be proud to be from wherever. Like, we were from the same town. That's just how it was. People were, communal, and now everybody's an individual, and everything's falling apart. So it's like, we should probably get back in groups again, because I saw some books, and that's what everybody used to do all the time. And now we're all on our own, and everything's falling apart. So I'm like, I know that works. So I don't know what else we can do, but that definitely works. So let's just do that first, and then we'll try and figure it out later. Because I don't feel like rolling a hard 6 on, like, I'm just going to do nothing and see what happens. Let's just wait.
Far too many people seem to think that, like, when the moment happens, they're just going to be able to, like, survive, and community's going to just exist around them, and they're going to magically be able to fight, and they're going to, like, all these sorts of things. Like,
I'm just going to see red, bro. I'm just going to see red. It amazes me
how many guys think they're going to be able to fight. Like,
it's the same mentality.
You're going to lose. Like, we had our training day last month, and I got in the ring with one of the guys who was a good fighter. I'm not a fighter. I haven't been in a fight since I was in high school, but this was something that I wanted to do, and, had a great time with it. But, like, fighting is hard. It is hard. If you're not someone who does that and trains for that, like, when we get into a situation where there's, like, roving gangs of Indians, going door to door trying to steal your food, how are you going to defend them if you don't have people to help you?
Derek will tell you, because he's like got a bunch of trophies and shit for hurting people. But
I'm telling you,
90% of fighting is mental.
Yeah, I'm telling people now, it's like, you can train as hard as you want. It takes one little Jeet with a knife to end your life. Like,
it's not for that. It's for your mind. You need to strengthen your mind and be in the right mindset.
I learned to be comfortable around blades.
You learn by doing difficult things, and if it's going to be difficult, because you have to force your body to do shit it doesn't want to do.
Saying, like, the people that we're contending with now is different. Like, I remember fighting when you get into a fight with somebody in your school or in your town or something like that. You weren't killing them. You know what I mean? You fought, and you probably end up being friends afterwards, whatever, because there was a brotherhood with the people you grew up with. Now, there's people getting stabbed at Wasaga Beach, the beach that I used to go to, fucking May 4 and shit like that. People just getting stabbed. Nah,
because they're Indians.
Dying.
They're not Canadian. Canadian
people
doing that.
You can't let these people near or in your vicinity. And I'm all for learning how to fight against and defend with a knife. Like, because that's going to be really important. You end up, I'll get you in my guard. But what's in my ribs?
Just get a submachine gun. Just get a submachine gun that you can fit under your coat.
There you go.
Like a collapsible stock MP5 or one of those, like, little short. They're only like that big, 30 round man. You can definitely hide that under your coat. Yeah.
God,
like, oh, that's
things
an
are
illegal gun. Like everybody's getting illegal guns now. There's illegal guns everywhere because all the legal ones are banned. So there's going to be a giant boon in black market
Oh, it's
sales.
going to be a huge boom. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you want? It's going to be available very soon. Get an MP5 with a. I mean, they're very in it. You basically got a two-hand this thing for short range, but hey, you know it's. You don't want to be across a hallway with a guy with an MP5. You're holding a knife. You know what I mean? Like it's
there's
it's a Tyrannosaurus
be all
now.
kinds
Like,
of.
it was a
It's going to be
defenseless woman.
crazy.
It was a defenseless woman. Now it's a velociraptor because she has an MP5. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, now it's a whole different ball game. It's like, oh shit, this was a 100-pound woman, but now I'm going to die horribly.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in Tottenham. That's where I was living before on the horse farm, and I went over to the plaza because there's this new plaza that I was watching being built in like 1 year. So I went over there, and there was a bunch of Muslim guys that barely spoke English that are hanging around a barber shop. I'm looking like, I don't want to get my hair cut in there. Look at that's fucking. There's like 12 guys. I see danger when I see it. Like these are all foreign men standing around a fucking. I don't want to go there.
Yep.
Like I'll drive to the next town
for a
over.
reason.
Everybody has that. They're like, no, that's bad. Like, no, that's just basic. That's the same instinct you get when you know, like, this is potentially a dangerous situation for me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what kind of animal that is. I think I should stay away from that. Like, that's animalistism.
Yeah. You must walk to the animal instead.
I don't know.
Give
that
the
hippo
lion a hug.
Are hippos friendly? Go hang out with the hippo. I think it's mad at me. It's looking at me kind of weird. Go hang out with a hippo, you animalist. Dead. Like, who knew? Hippos kill people all the fucking time, actually.
Yeah,
it's
people
a good thing he hung out with the hippo.
They can hang out with wild bears.
Does it look like a violent animal? It's a killer. Yeah, it loves to murder humans, actually. Yeah, hippos love eating humans. It's a great time. They're like, take, and they eat you. Apparently. I grew up thinking they were harmless, like big fat water animals. Like, no, man-eating monsters.
Yeah. That's a part of everybody's internet journey that your algorithm used to always anyway, would always end up at animal attack videos, and you just cycle through them.
That's
like
instinct, dude, because you're always got to remember the old days.
Like watching that guy, the tiger that attacked the man on top of the elephant. That was just insane.
Yeah,
everybody's seen that. Like,
because you know that it's scary because you know it's real.
Yeah,
it's not a fake thing. Like that didn't happen. Like, no, you know that's real. Like, whoa, that's what that looks like. Holy, fuck.
Straight up slash that guy open.
Like, the first really crazy violent thing I saw was the beheading video of Nicholas Berg in 2003. Back when they were real and it wasn't this fake ISIS shit where they cut to the fight. Like, no, this was a straight up
and they death.
Like, just it took a long time. It was very uncomfortable to watch. It was fucked up.
Mm-hmm. And I watched somebody die in like 2019, 2020 or something like that, hit by a car in front of me.
Oof.
He was mangled. I've seen that a couple of times.
It's fucked up when you see people like, oh, the human body can get twisted up like that. Like, like you feel very vulnerable all of a sudden for the rest of your life. You're like, oh shit, like you can get destroyed by like really easily, seemingly. You're basically
there's always somebody that ends up getting fucked up. We're just like, you remember Tommy? Gee, he was never the same. Be careful on concrete. Like,
you're a meat bag made of mostly water. You're literally mush walking around, and there's flying metal everywhere. So careful.
When I was in grade 9, I did that the go to work with your parents thing, and I went to work with my dad, who was a cop. And our last call of the day was a guy. I was 13.
Oh no!
I was our last call. Like, we were literally leaving the office. Yeah, pretty well.
13 old enough. Oh god!
But this guy was working on the dump of a dump truck, like a full size dump truck, and it was sitting on 4 oil barrels, and he was under it welding it, and of course, what happens? One of the oil barrels broke because it's got a dump truck on it, and he just literally went right in half.
Wow,
so that was
awesome.
Yeah, that was good time.
I used to work for the gas company, and since I was 13, I saw a ton of shit with my dad, like going in and out. But the best was by the Bombay Palace. I went to a fire there as well, but there was a starter and alternator place that went up in smoke. And I used to get to kind of know the fire department in the area because I would have to go and shut the gas off to a lot of these calls that they were showing up to. A couple of the guys would also do the gas business, so I knew them through that. They were also firemen. So the one time he's like, "Yeah, you want to come inside and see it?" Didn't warn me that the owner of the shop was fucking face down on his desk, burnt to a crisp.
Oh my
Still
God.
fucking sizzling. And he's completely desensitized to it. He's just walking
Of
in
course.
and buy it, right? And I just
Yeah.
walk in like, oh, holy fuck. Like you could have warned a guy, you know, like you could have
No,
warned
that's
A little
bitter-
heads up,
do that.
please.
that's veteran bitterness. That's what that is. That's jaded veteran attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He in his
Didn't
mind
even
is like,
flinch.
hey, oh yeah, you want. He's like, as you're talking, all he's thinking about is the corpses and the death and the ruin, and he's like, you want to go see it? Because it's like in his mind, he's like, oh yeah, it's so awesome. If I have to live with this, now you will too. Come on in. What? Come, you want to see some shit? Yeah, that's awesome, isn't it? In his head, anyway. He's like, oh yeah, come on in.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened? There's a dead guy. Yep.
Yeah. Didn't hesitate. Yeah, I'll go. Oh fuck. Wasn't expecting that at all,
I just
dude.
don't care
Just
anymore.
been-
Like,
yeah.
fuck you,
Ugh.
fuck everybody. This is awful. My job's the word. Yeah, come on in. I go, fuck.
Come on.
you. Well, yeah, no, come see this actually. Come see what I live with all the time. You
There's
want
a
to see
few
what I
guys
do?
that had to take time off from their job from seeing some fucked up shit in the gas company because you go to carbon monoxide calls
Yeah.
and like people will be dead in their apartment or fucking you see some weird shit sometimes.
I have
Rigor,
part of my
yeah.
theory is that because people get PTSD from that, and it's because I think like when you see it, when you come upon a dead person, there is an element of fear because what killed them, and is it around here still?
Is it still here?
Am I in danger? Like this. So every time you do this, if you're constantly coming into dead body, it's kind of unavoidable. Like every time you see it, like fuck.
I think I'm
And
so
then
jaded
it's
now.
just-
I'm more worried about it coming back to life.
Well, that's creepy too.
What the fuck? Yeah, like,
First dead guy I ever saw. That's exactly what I thought. It just looked like he was pretending. I was like,
Yeah.
"Are you sure
It's
he's
that-
dead?"
yeah.
He doesn't look dead. He's like, "Yeah, he's been dead for like 5 minutes." I'm like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, couldn't tell. And then I'm like, "There's a hole in his head like that big. This is the back of his head like that." I was like, "Oh, I guess that's what did it."
I guess he's dead.
Yeah, but he looked fine otherwise. Like he was just pretending. I'm like, hadn't lost the color in it because it killed whatever it would have killed him instantly. So it would have shut everything off. He wouldn't bleed. His heart's not pumping. He
Yeah.
went face down. It would have just pooled in his head, and that's it. He's just laying there like. Well, there's a lot of weird injuries like that and kills. It was like, what? How did he die? I don't know.
I'm sure.
One guy, we're like, we're not sure. The medic was like, all of his bones and internal organs are destroyed. We're like, oh,
That'll do it.
some
That happened,
blast
eh?
obviously like caved in his fucking
Yeah.
blood. Like, isn't that nuts? You're just walking along and then, mush. You got mush, because you're made of mush and very easy to kill in this world.
Yeah.
Now.
I've gotten
We used to have-
jaded watching the Jeets do it. It's like
We used to
I've
have
watched
swords,
always
big
on my
sticks.
timeline.
That's why that's the thing. Everyone's like, oh man, back in the old days, swords and shields and stuff, it seemed so much more brutal and violent and scary. It's like, no, those guys were bitches. Because it was like, you can survive getting stabbed and sliced and all. I mean, you could die, but it's like, it's kind of survival. Nobody's getting misted. Nobody's getting mushed. Like they're not walking along and 30 of them just explode. And you're like,
No.
"What? There's nothing you can do." Like, so if you're going to war now, it's like it's pure chance if you survive. It's completely just rolling dice in the dark. Like, wee, let's see if I explode. Or like, a bomb from space or laser beams or drones or like, oh, that
Random
force was
drone drop
real.
on
You
your head.
nerve gas yourself to death. Like, it's preposterous. So it's like back then you're like, it's just you and your friends against that guy and his friends. Like, I think we could take him,
Yeah.
And in most of these fights, only like a portion of the soldiers would get killed. It wasn't like one kills all of the other ones. It's like you've lost 10 or 20% of your men. Like you're losing guys fast. Like, okay. And then they're like, all right, that's enough of that. So it's like 1,000 guys showed up, 200 got killed, and the other one only lost 30. And they're like, okay, we were going to get fucked up. So shut her down. So they win. Now it's like, it's to the death, and it will probably be very quick for everyone. You'll all die.
For everyone. Yeah.
So back then, of course, they had fucking big dicks back then. You're like, I got like an 80% chance of survival, really. And it's like, how about 0.8%?
Yeah.
I think I'll stay home. Like, yeah.
Yes, gone are the days of the fight in the street of gangs in New York and that sort of thing.
The murder rate of the Ukrainian-Russian war is insane. Like
Yeah.
your odds of living are nothing.
Thanks, Jensine.
Why does he say it like that? I'm going back soon, I think.
Yeah, I would like to as well, but I can't pronounce that word. It's
Just say Zainal. He's trying to make.
Jeremy.
He's
No,
trying
it's
to make.
what he said.
Don't read what he says.
I don't understand it.
He's one of Jenstein's guys. I think he's one of this. They're like
I don't know the word. I'd like to.
like
I know
table,
Zaniel. We met Zaniel when we were there. I know exactly who he is.
In like every kind of tavern, there's like a corner of just scum, and it's like he's over there with those guys. Jenstein and CRJ, they're over there, and they're just Camby's over there with them. It's like this. It's when you hear anything coming from them, you're just like,
it's that table at high school.
Yes,
there's that table.
They've got $40 tattoos. Like they're just the worst.
And Joseph says you just have to embrace being a meat cube and have fun. Kind of.
Yeah.
It's funny how many people I've heard of that having that revelation kind of recently. I was listening to Stefan Molyneux just out of the blue, and he was saying the same thing. It's like
he's still around.
Kind of. Oh yeah. He totally has never went anywhere. He just gave up on Twitter, and he does D Live and like his own and Telegram.
D Live still has
very small.
He's the last guy. He's the only guy that didn't leave D Live.
In his chat rooms, though, they're so small that you're interacting with still the same guy, right? Yeah. So it's wild to see. But anyways, he was talking about
try to get a hold of him
from the burden.
He just ignored
me. He's helping more people on individual levels now, and it just seems I don't know, he seems happier, but also a bit bitter.
Probably.
A little bitter.
That's what happens when you stop trying. Of course you get bitter.
Liked him though.
Because you're better than this, and you're just making it worse, and every day that goes by, the worse it gets, and now it's a thing, and now you're all weirded out by it. Next thing you know, you're fucking drinking again, and not good.
It's no good.
Don't give up. It's not good. Doesn't go to a good place.
No.
Brian says, I worked Detroit for 20 years. I saw so much carnage. You think you're getting used to it, but then it comes back to you over and over.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't get used to that. Things that you've seen stay with you forever. You remember that you're different after seeing it. I say that out loud too. I'm different now.
What happens is you get used to it in like escalating scales until it's like kind of, you're just fully desensitized at this point.
Yeah.
But then in order to get healthy again, you actually have to start de-escalating it, through I think that's why it comes back. You have to like reprocess it again, and then reprocess it again, and then reprocess it again, and then
who's seen some shit. He was.
I feel like avoiding it is the problem. A lot of them are just like, I need more pills so I don't stop having these thoughts. It's like you're supposed to have them. That's why they're there. There's something in here that you need to understand or something. And you're like, nope, I'm just gonna drink till it's and then you die. So it's like, well, I don't know. I'm alive.
Never know.
You know who's seen some shit, and you could tell is Big John McCarthy. That guy has seen some shit.
The
referee? Yeah. Even prior to the UFC, you could tell he's just stone faced. He'll be looking at a broken leg and he's like, come on in, stay there, fucking. He's just got that calm demeanor,
I've seen a lot of nasty injuries.
Yeah, even prior to the UFC, he was. What was his job? He was something where it's like every call you go to is nasty shit. Like a fireman or a paramedic. It's like those jobs suck, man. I'm sorry, but they suck.
The craziest shit is when you see like explosions and gunfire, like crazy shit. And there's one guy who like doesn't flinch at all. He's totally chill. Like he does this every day, and you're just like, whoa. It's just totally like just another day.
Yeah. Doesn't even
blink. You've been here a while, huh? You've been doing this for a bit, You're like,
you might need a break, sir.
Yeah, it's mental.
Jensine says he hates Ferry.
Oh, good.
Is he going to try to? Is he just trying to shame him into entertaining him now? How does he know he's even watching? He's probably not even watching. He's just throwing it into a pit. But you know what? He is, and you just got to keep sending Derek money. That's what you got to do.
Yep.
And he'll
hit the right amount.
He can hear you.
Think of it like crypto. Think of it like a crypto investment. You just got to keep giving it money and don't think about it. Just keep.
Someday there will be a payoff.
Hear you.
If you selected Bitcoin or Ethereum, you're correct. If you selected anything else, you were wrong. The other 700 options were not correct. Well, there's a few other decent successful ones, but
XRP is doing all right.
Is it still around?
Yep.
Like that's
just
the whole
public or whatever it was.
Wasn't that the one that the Super Jew got stole all the money out of XRP?
Freed, or fried, and he didn't even get any time. He got overturned. He's free. He didn't. Nothing happened to him.
Did you guys invest in the Haktua coin?
No, no. I don't do stupid things with my money. I try not to. Anymore.
Yeah.
Anymore. Did you just say you bought a motorcycle just because you didn't? Yeah, I know. But fuck you. I earned that motorcycle.
That was a thing.
14 and a half years in that shithole.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just wouldn't trust it anymore. Even if I'm in a flock of 12 guys riding, you're gonna get plowed through by a Jeep.
Oh well, yeah.
Did I tell you guys? Okay, you know the horrid highway that I always talk about, Highway 11.
Yeah.
Their solution is to widen it and make a lane in the center that alternates which side can pass.
What? So this is just going to increase head-on collisions then?
Dude,
because there's going to be people trying to pass at the same time and just slam right into it.
That is the dumbest insane.
That's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. That's literally the reason the highways are the way they are now, because otherwise that would happen. So we're going to relearn what we already know is people will have head-on collisions and die if we go to do that. So that we got to divide. There has to be a separation, or else otherwise there's just
awesome
metal flying at each other hundreds of miles an hour in different directions, and all it's going to take is just somebody not paying attention. But it's lots of needless death. Great. Good job, Canada. You're fucking doing great, kid. You're doing great.
Alternating passing lanes. These guys can't even drive normally here, and they're going to change it on the new people.
Now we're going to switch it up on them. Yeah.
Oh, God. That is a terrible idea. That is a really bad idea. That is a bad idea.
Get up here before fucking that happens.
The whole economy is going to just corrupt. It's going to stop, and they're not going to understand why.
Yeah.
And that's when Trump's going to have to come in, and it's going to be like a relief effort nonsense. But incompetence essentially destroyed the country.
Yep.
Stupid, weak morons everywhere that no one dared call them on their shit, and now everything's going to just stop working soon.
Mm-hmm.
How much? How many people are going to not drive on that highway now? Refuse to, and how many accidents is there going to be? How much more damage is that going to do to the economy? And how many road closures? Every minute an hour that road's closed, we're losing money, and it's all the time now, and that costs money to clean that up. And insurance companies, the taxpayers got to front some of this.
I would love somebody to add up all of the time wasted and spent of people waiting on Highway 11 being closed for commerce and trucking and everything, compared to the convoy and blocking the border.
Yeah.
Where's the national emergency?
Yeah.
You remember it happened to us on the tour. Jeets on Highway 11. We had to stop, and we were parked there for a while, walking up and down the street.
There were several kilometers of vehicles. We were way back there, in the middle of nowhere, and it was this could be a long time. I walked for a while, a couple kilometers, and I still couldn't see the end of this convoy. So I was we might be here for a day. I don't know. And it's one lane. There's nowhere else to go. And sure enough, when we got out there, 6, 7, 8 hours later, there's a truck all pushed finally off the road, destroyed, shit everywhere. Indians, yep, fucking there it is. There it is. I wonder who's dead there. Wonder who died this time. Great.
And now what the thing is, you would think that the local towing businesses are doing phenomenal and flourishing from all the money they're making, right? No, they've taught the new drivers to go as far off the road as they can, because if they're impeding traffic, it goes to the local guy. But if it has nothing to do with impeding traffic, then they can call their guys from Mississauga to pick up their trucks.
God, man, what in the? They're a plague.
So the whole thing is improving the driving.
Where can we scam today?
This is like having a parasite in your body that's drinking your blood. You're dying. Yeah. You have to kill this thing, or you're going to be dead. You can't afford to. How much more of this can we afford? How many more families can we lose? Like the Humboldt Broncos. What was that? That was an Indian guy behind the wheel of a truck who shouldn't have been. Shouldn't even been here. And now they're all dead. Why? Because some woman liberal somewhere was like, I need more brown people to feel like a good person. Yeah. That's why. So that's why those people are dead. That's insane. That is the most insane shit I've ever heard. This place has completely lost its mind, completely lost touch with reality. We live in a.
It's when you take it from such a 30,000-foot view, 100,000, whatever you want to say it. We've been colonized, and they're now taking our trade routes.
There's
These
nothing
are the visible ones we see. Like there's other ones that are being established as well.
There's nothing scarier than a crazy person because you never know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Like these people are capable of anything, literally anything. They could wake up tomorrow and decide
we have a video of a guy dancing on the vegetables naked in the grocery store. Like
I mean, they're trying drugs for the first time and stabbing a father in his throat in front of his family.
Yeah,
I'm concerned about the Tet Offensive scenario, where all these gurdwaras and mosques and all these little ethnic enclaves are just stockpiling weapons.
Yep.
And then one day, that's it. And there would be no stopping it at all. There'd be no stopping it whatsoever. No. And why would anybody do that? How far are you willing to go to steal a country?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this isn't a little boy sport that's happening. Like there's some concerning things that's happening, suggesting that like serious power moves are being played here. Like not like we're going to take some of your lunch money. This is like I'm going to kill you.
We were talking about this ages ago. Like I remember when they were putting them up, driving past them in Mississauga. Like this looks like they have 20-foot walls. Why? Like
they're built like
walking around. Like what the fuck is this?
Yeah, they have armed security and like security gates and stuff. And it's like this is a church.
Yeah,
is it?
That's our
this
temple.
That
seems normal.
Why? What you got in the basement? I've heard some stories about the basement. I guess, but we're not allowed to investigate that because apparently they keep getting shut down.
Yeah,
every time, and that's the truth. It's like, why do the police do anything? They try to, and it gets shut down by other police. The criminal ones who, again, they're not doing anything about.
Yeah,
I think everybody should just quit because they're like, this is their cope. You know, the odd, one and a half cop, that's like not a horrible person. Their cope is, well, if I leave, it's going to be even worse. Like I'm one of the only good people still here, and it's like there's no stopping this. All you're doing is delaying
it. Yeah.
They need to be exposed. They need to just like you let someone just fail so they learn. It's like just let them destroy themselves. Just get out of the way. Stop helping it. Like stop trying to stop the boulder. Like it's going down the hill. Just let it go.
It's easier for me because I've already been displaced. Like Brampton Hospital doesn't exist anymore, and it's a G hive now. I wouldn't want to go there.
It's it's gonna happen. You're gonna get fucked. It's like it's good.
Get out of there. It's lost territory. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the cities are no good because nobody's everyone's an individual there. It's just falling apart. What made them
the countries aren't much better anymore. Unfortunately, they were a few years ago, but it's out in the country now too, man.
What made all of us successful was the cohesion of all the people we had working together towards one. Like we all had one idea of what the country was and what we were doing and who we were. It was very, very across the country. There was no real disagreement about any of that. Now it's all gone. So we don't have the strength of Canada doesn't exist anymore because that's what Canada was. It was all those people working together who no longer are. It is dead. It's Canada. The idea was all of us, let's work together on the same things, and then we'll be much more powerful. That's no longer happening. You've got provinces trying to separate. You've got people stealing all over the place. So Canada no longer exists. Literally, it does not exist. The thing that made it happen is gone. And now we're all orphans. And it's like, well, the next best thing we can do is try to find other survivors and because I don't know what's going to happen, what this is going to look like in 2 years. I don't want to be by myself. I know that.
No.
It's getting weird already. I'm just waiting for one day to be like, do you hear what happened? What? There's no food at Walmart. I'll be like, it's happening. Here we go.
Taking American products off the shelves.
And they'll be like, oh, the news said it was just a temporary. And I'm like, yeah, they're lying. This is how it goes. No regime that's in collapse ever tells you the truth. You go study the end of the Soviet Union, the fucking Iraq is a hilarious one. They're just always right to the end, right to the last day. Like everything's totally under control. There's nothing to worry about. Everybody's a conspiracy theorist. Don't listen to those people. They're crazy. And then the TV turns off, and then the American president comes on and goes, well, I'm in control now. All those people are dead. And you're like, what? Like they were lying to you the whole time.
If only someone told me.
They're still lying to you now. They've been lying. They're lying now. They're going to lie later. It's what they do. They're liars. So they're not going to warn you. And then when it gets really, really bad, they're not going to tell you. They don't tell you about any of this shit, hardly. There was a 6-year-old near butchered in the street. That wasn't like I was on local news, maybe.
Local news, if you're lucky. Yeah.
What the fuck is going on? Like they're not. It's just
it's not the same place anymore.
they put another Trump piece up, like wild. They'll do that right to the end. There could be armed militias roaming the streets, killing people at random. They'd be like, "We need another bicycle lane on the bridge." That will be the news, and you'll be like,
"We need to send $3 billion to Israel."
Yep.
Yeah.
Fly the
What?
Ukraine.
Oh yeah,
People are
gonna get
dropping
wild.
dead in the parking lot. That's fine.
Yeah.
Oh well, guys, we've been going for 3 hours here. I should probably call her a night. Ozzy's looking like
Yes, I guess.
I gotta pack up.
Pack up.
Pack it up, pack it in,
Yep.
heading home, are you?
Let me begin.
Let me begin. I came to win. Battle me. That's a sin.
That's just sin.
That's a sin.
Cobra mode.
All right, everybody. Thanks for coming. So I'm supposed to be on with Pat King tomorrow night and Doug Force.
That'll be good.
So that'll be fun.
I see Doug Ford. Oh, buddy.
Oh,
let me tell you. Oh, he's like a fatter, dumber Rodney Dangerfield to me. Oh, dude.
Yes,
It's like,
that's
every time I hear him talk, I'm
explanation.
like, it's like he's trying to do a terrible stand-up act, and it's just not landing. I'm like, I
It's
can't take
true.
him seriously at all. He's just, folks, I mean, sometimes you can't unscramble an egg. You gotta make a bigger omelet. I'm like, good one, Doug. No one laughed. Okay. Oh, I got no respect. Oh, no, none. Like, yeah, you're a terrible fucking governor. You're horrible. Everything you do is horrible. You look horrible. You sound horrible. Everything to say is horrible. You're just horrible. All around. 100% horrible. Total failure.
I feel good. I feel good, and I'm the oldest I've ever been. Huh?
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Oh,
no, I just made that one up. Intrusive thoughts.
Oh,
Says,
that was me earlier.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday, Jeremy.
It's not my birthday. Not yet.
Everybody's
Yeah.
saying it. Happy birthday.
Soon. Not yet. Not yet.
But thanks, everybody. Have a good night, Jen Steen, Scotian Lady, everybody. We'll see you